A pleasant good morning to you, our viewers. My name is Jessie Leonce. Thank you so much for joining the NTN live broadcast this morning. This is the COVID-19 response report, and we have a few news updates for you. $2.5 million raised in the telethon for frontline workers, personal protective equipment. The government is now planning a phased reopening of the economy after the extended partial shutdown. The Ministry of Education announces plans for the third term of the academic year amid COVID-19. The details to these stories are coming up in just a moment, but first, in studio, we have the Permanent Secretary of the Ministry of Education, Innovation and Gender Relations, Michelle Charles, and Dr. Fiona Phillip-Mayer, the Chief Education Officer. Good morning.
Good morning.
Ladies.
Good morning.
Thank you so much for being here with us. In studio, I'm also joined by Mr. Carlton Cyril, as usual, who will be translating in Creole. Good morning, Carlton.
Morning, bonjour. Faites plaisir, bonjour tout le monde.
Okay, I want to open up with the situation for the third term. A lot of parents are querying, want to know what is happening. I know the ministry put out a press release last week with regard to that, week before, sorry, with regard to that in terms of examinations. But in terms of classes and going to school every day, can you just give us a greater understanding of what the Ministry of Education's plan is for the third term of this academic year?
Thank you very much for this opportunity, Jessie, and good morning, viewers and our listeners as well. We really want to thank you for giving us the opportunity to at least share with parents and all of our stakeholders what the Ministry of Education's plans are as it relates to education moving into the third term. You would appreciate with this pandemic, it has changed significantly. I mean, this is unprecedented, and it has changed the way we would have been doing business within the education landscape. And so we have had to take some time to really figure out how we're moving forward with our teaching and learning as we move into the third term. The impact of COVID-19 has resulted in our school term ending abruptly. That was the second term. And that meant that not all curricula was covered during the second term. Not all of the content in the second term curricula was covered. Also, we recognize that our institutions were ill-equipped and inadequately prepared to be able to instruct remotely or virtually. And this is one of the challenges that we face. Also, with our students not all having access to information, if our teachers were looking to reach them via mobile or some electronic means, then we would have lost some of our students in that regard. And to our vulnerable students, we're even more adversely impacted because we would have had some students with special needs who would have gotten attention within the school setting, and also some of our students who are on our feeding program, and they too were adversely impacted. And of course, as you indicated, I mean, this has implications for our local and regional examinations as well. With us here is the Chief Education Officer, Dr. Fiona Meyer, and she can get into the meat of things as it relates to the work of the school supervision and what's been happening, the plans for the third term, which is what you really asked, as it relates to what would have been pronounced by our minister a few days ago.
Okay. Dr. Meyer?
Thank you so very much, and good morning to everyone. Good morning to our viewers and listeners. What is significant to note is that this is not a situation specific to education. This is a national and international issue. And so everything that the Department of Education would want to do has to be informed by the pronouncements of the Chief Medical Officer under the leadership of the Ministry of Health. We recognize, we appreciate that this is difficult for many sectors of our society. And so our role is to really support engagement, support learning, support instruction. And we begin by recognizing that our teachers, our principals know their students, know the school culture, and so they are best placed in terms of the educational program moving forward to engage those stakeholders. When we speak to specifics, we want to note that many of our teachers have reached out to their students and provided learning engagements as soon as they knew that we had closed, and they made every effort. We have so many examples of very innovative and creative ways that our teachers engaged in to reach their students. We applaud them for that, and we know that under the leadership of our principals, this will continue. And they are the experts. They are the experts on the ground. As a Department of Education, we have engaged major stakeholders in terms of looking at a national plan, which is also supported by district level plans. You would be aware we have 8 educational districts under the leadership of our district education officers, alongside the work of CAMDU and other entities within education, working with every school to ensure that their school plan meets the needs. This is what's most significant, meets the needs of their individual students.
Can I say to them, to support what the chief has said, a number of decisions had been taken at the ministerial level. And though the chief is going to speak to some of the operational factors, I could give you some of the broad decisions that were made at the ministry level. Okay. And this aligns itself nicely with the minister's pronouncement. So this would have started with us deciding that the third term formal teaching would have commenced on the 20th of April, as opposed to what would have, under normal circumstances, students would have been expected to be back in schools today. Mm-hmm. We indicated too, and you alluded to the press statement that was circulated a couple of weeks ago, that the minimum standards test for grades 2 and 4 would have been cancelled. Yeah. However, the SBA components of these tests are going to be moderated and the information shared with the schools. The common entrance exam, which would have been sat in June, is now dependent on pronouncements from the Ministry of Health. So when they deem it safe for us to be able to administer that exam, that's when we are going to do so. The exam, at the time when it's being administered, we would have allowed sufficient time for students and teachers to become academically and psychologically ready to write the exam. The exam, of course, it's been restructured, being reviewed as we speak, and so it will comprise solely of the multiple choice components, and this is being worked on by our examination units alongside our curriculum and assessment officers. I know many persons are concerned about what happens with CSEC and CAPE, and I just want to indicate that the governments of the region are still in dialogue with the Caribbean Examination Council, and as soon as a decision is made relating to that, a pronouncement will be made locally, and persons will be given the information at that point. Chief?
Yes. Mm-hmm. Thank you, PS. Again, we note the anxiety reference, common entrance in particular, and that being one of the examinations that determines so much of a child's life thereafter. So parents, we are with you, and we will continue to engage stakeholders as soon as we have the information from the Ministry of Health to really ensure that no child is disadvantaged. So it's important that we make that note to you. Sufficient time will be given, as PS has mentioned. We have some very important sectors within education. Unfortunately, early childhood and all of our centers, the majority of which are privately owned, had to be closed down based on the threat and the risk associated with COVID-19. We note that without a foundation, nothing else will work in terms of educational support thereafter. So we want to applaud our early childhood sector practitioners and say to them, we recognize your efforts, but we continue to encourage parents to look at the really little young ones and to say engage in play-based learning. Sometimes we think children are just playing, but within that time prior to schooling, formal schooling that is, it is really about doing various activities that are fun for the children, that are engaging for them, that are based on their interest. And you would note that all of those skills, numeracy, literacy, social skills, are developed through play. So let us be patient with ourselves, with our little ones, and really engage them moving forward so that the foundation continue to be built upon. A significant part of the early childhood is to identify that our young ones may have fears. There may be anxieties attached to, what has happened to my school that I'm no longer going to it. So it is important our parents, our caregivers recognize that and really provide a reassuring, atmosphere for our little ones while we engage them. I would like to speak to special education in a big way. The most vulnerable among us. There's no doubt about it. Some of the most marginalized. And all of our centers have been closed, and for many of our special education students, that was their go-to place. Also from our parents who were struggling with knowing what exactly to do with their children. And they were part of systems whereby all of our teachers are qualified and certified to support them. We note and we applaud the special education unit for doing exactly what Ms. Menal has spoken of, really looking at this issue and providing video clippings for them, sharing with them via WhatsApp, engaging with them one-on-one in terms of how best to support them. And so we also speak to the profound effect and impact that reaching out to people who seem lost within our system really does have on them and their families. So we want to applaud that team for continuing to engage with special education students. Reference instruction. We know that it is difficult now to actually reach the students. The devices are limited. How do you get to them? Connectivity, internet access, although they may be the ones who could benefit the most from it, but many of them do not have it. So as a Ministry of Education, as we engage with our various international and regional stakeholders, how best do we support instruction for our special education students and our marginalized individuals?
Okay. Going forward into the reopening of school, can you give us a greater understanding of the format? What format will school take at the primary level, at the secondary school level?
Thank you very much for that. There's been lots of discussion, and we've had engagements with various stakeholders, including our curriculum officers, district education officers, our IT teams, and a number of other partners, including the OECS Commission. And coming out of this discussion, my team at the Ministry of Education, we were able to put together a plan which will support instruction moving into the third term. I am going to let the Chief Education Officer expound on that.
Thank you, PS. We have worked with a wide range of groupings. So our National Principals Association, our Secondary School Principals Association, we have our special education team, we have our curriculum officers, our district education officers, because we want this to be an all-in. We want this to be practical and relevant to our school communities. So what we have shared with our various teams is an instructional plan, a national instructional plan, which speaks to specifics reference grades K to grade 3, focusing in a big way on the core subject areas. So the mathematics and the language arts being core, but not forgetting all the other areas, including civics and HFLE and the importance of special education, and likewise physical movement and physical education. So what you will see is a plan that includes, specific to grade levels, a range of instructional strategies. And that is what's significant. When we come back to the importance of school culture, the importance of communities, the limited access to particular modes of instruction, that we include the use of radio, the use of teletutorials, the use of YouTube videos, activity worksheets. And yes, for some communities, we will have a definite packaging of instructional material, which parents will be encouraged and allowed to pick up in a safe manner. Because we do know that at times we want to send work via, the use of the internet, but some parents do not have printed material at home. They cannot print. So it is important that we meet those parents where they're at, and we really support instruction to all of our students. And we speak of not letting any one of them be by the wayside, because we want to make sure that the parent who needs a package will be able to pick up a package for a student in grade 2 that is labeled with that child's name, and that there is also a provision for feedback to the teachers. And so it is important that our principals, who have already started putting all of their plans in place and are working alongside their teachers, continuing to work alongside their teachers, who are the experts in that area, find ways to identify what the community needs are. And we've already started doing this. We've put out surveys among our individual schools and principals to really find out and let our decisions be data-driven. So we have our block kindergarten to grade 3. We have, and for that section in particular, the use of the ELP, which is the Early Learners Program run by the OECS, is very significant because it focuses in a big way on literacy, and we know that's one of our deficiencies, reading, reading, reading. And parents feel encouraged to read with your child. Even if you don't do formal education, this will be one of the major ways to improve your child's academic performance. And we go further, grade 4 to 6, we have our breakdown similarly. And we appreciate with the grade 6 students reinforcement of concepts taught, consolidation, scaffolding, to make sure that our students move. With our plan, there are specific amounts of academic work, physical activity, creative activities that we've shared with our principals, we've shared with our education officers. So an overview for a day is supplied, in addition, because we did hear our parents saying, a lot of work was being sent home or too little was being sent home. So we've given a specific amount of work that can be done. And then we move on into our forms 1 to 2.
Before you move on to forms 1 to 2,
yes, miss.
What arrangements are being, there's uncertainty looms for common entrance. Yeah. So can you just touch on what, in terms of the curriculum, will be considered for grade 6 students?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. You want to?
Yes, we discussed this. We had a meeting and engagements, which included the St. Lucia Teachers Union, the National Principals Association, and our assessments and curriculum officers. And it was decided at that point that the common entrance exam is going to be restructured to cover only the material that students would have covered within the 5th grade and the first term of the 6th grade. And so that is being done currently, and that's why we're emphasizing that this 3rd term for students within that grade group, it's about consolidating, reinforcement, revision, to allow the students to ensure that they capture the salient points, whatever concepts would have been taught during that period, and that they're ready for the exam whenever it is administered.
Okay, understood.
Yes.
Dr. Myers?
Okay, thank you. Moving into secondary school, we appreciate our Form 1s and 2s. The use of Google Classrooms is a significant platform. The use of Moodle, likewise, particularly for our mathematics. We note that in some of our schools, some of the students have access to devices, but they do not necessarily have access to devices that is going to aid them with their educational advancement. So there may be a smartphone, but there may not be data on that smartphone. So even for our secondary schools, we will be providing, based on the school community, based on the leadership of the school, based on the consensus among the teachers, printed material for our students as the need arises. So for our Form 1s and 2s, there is an overview which has already been shared with our education officers who meet with the principals of the various districts. Our Form 3s, we noted that the learn books were supplied to 13 of our secondary schools as pilot schools.
The e-books.
The e-books, the learn books, there's a lot of content there. And so we encourage the usage of those as a significant avenue, as a significant model to use in encouraging the use of virtual learning with our Form 3s. And for some of the other students who do not have that access, we have a lot of material which will be shared and has been shared. Up to yesterday, we had another meeting with our ICT coaches. We have various platforms. And what COVID-19 has done is to force us to really look at our virtual offerings, review them, and to continue to share material. And for our Form 4s, Google Classrooms, again, form a huge part, as well as Moodle. And we want to look at our numeracy hours, which was led by our team at the Ministry of Education in conjunction with the Prime Minister's office, and to really encourage that usage, because similarly we have a lot of content, we have a lot of instructional material that we must use to advance all of our children. And we know that Form 5s we're wrapping up and hoping that a decision can be made reference CXC, the various subjects that are going to be offered in what modality, and we know that CXC has spoken about going totally digital and virtual, so preparing our students even for accessing that examination mentally, because it's also, the psychological impact. How will I do? And really reassuring them that we're here to provide whatever resources that we can and to really support every school in that manner.
Yes, go ahead.
Can I add as well that as it relates to the secondary schools, we want to encourage all of our students to activate the email addresses that would have been set up, would have been created by their schools. So it would have been an email address that sounds like michellecharles@sjc.edu.lc.
Okay.
And this is the email address that we would want all of our schools, our students to activate. Just to support what the chief has said as well, quite apart from, Google Classrooms is being promoted because it has been in the schools for the longest while, for years. Most all of our secondary schools have access to Google Classrooms, but that can also be supported by other platforms such as Edmodo, other learning hubs. And the numeracy hour that the chief alluded to, this was something being piloted at 4 secondary schools on island. But the content is very relevant, and that content will be shared with all of the other secondary schools so students can improve in the area of numeracy.
Okay. Just a query. I understand that e-learning capacities were being strengthened long before this COVID-19 situation. You mentioned the e-books. Can you speak to whether any plans will be fast-tracked to perhaps accommodate more schools, considering the COVID-19 situation with these devices?
Well,
the intention of the ministry was indeed, this e-books initiative in this first instance was a pilot project which would have run for 3 years. We would have started that pilot in February of this year, where the first set of students would have gotten the devices, and we would have looked to do a second pilot, well, the second part of that pilot in September, exposing more students to the use of the e-books. Given the challenge that we're currently facing, we're contemplating using those devices for the teachers and some of the students who have indicated that they are having challenges getting devices. But we will continue to monitor the use of that device. It allows students, it's not just a reading tablet or a reading device. It allows the students to do so much more. It allows them to access the various Microsoft suites, plus allow them to do their virtual labs, and the books also contain text that's aligned with the CSEC syllabus. So students are well placed, students who have the Learn book are well placed to be able to continue their own learning.
Okay.
yes. Permit me also to applaud our various partners who have been supporting us and reference virtual learning and engaging. We've had Digicel come on board to do Microsoft Teams with our primary schools. We have one initial cohort, and we're continuing to work alongside them. Minister spoke about the engagement with Flow and the learning hubs. We've had UNICEF come on board to support us. OECS has in a big way engaged us to look at a regional way forward and has been giving us that significant presence and visibility support likewise. We've had some of our local television stations air. We can speak to Choice Television, as well as IETV, airing among others. I know HTS similarly. And some of our local stations have made an effort to really provide more instructional material for our students. Significant to us is to note the importance of ensuring quality and vetting of all of the important instructional material being presented. But we applaud them and we thank them, and we will continue to engage with others to make sure that we get to every single child in using whatever medium is available to us as a nation.
With regard to CXC, can you speak to St. Lucia's capacity to accommodate the use of the digital platform for examinations?
I can say at this point that St. Lucia, knowing that CXC was moving in the direction of electronic testing, that we had put in our request to the Ministry of Finance for the computerization of schools. Some of our schools do have computers, however, they were not upgraded enough to allow us to be able to access that platform by CXC, or they were very archaic in some cases. And so we are pleased to indicate that the Ministry of Finance had already approved our budget for the computerization of schools. The challenge that we would have at this point, however, is with what's happening in the current environment as it relates to the procurement of our computers for our schools. It's going to take a little while longer. So we're hoping that we have already started the paperwork in the background that would allow us to expedite this process. And as soon as our borders are open and we're able to engage international and regional suppliers, that we can start that process. St. Lucia is really hoping that by the time the exam is administered, that our students are going to be in a position to be able to do this exam comfortably.
Okay, we have on Facebook a comment, somebody making a query about the grade 4 arrangements. Just to make a note, at the primary school level, a multifaceted approach will be undertaken. No new concepts will be taught. So just to give that person that information in real time, teaching at the primary school level will comprise the use of textbooks and activity sheets. This will be augmented by teletutorials, select learning hubs, and other approved sites.
Really?
Parents are encouraged to create email addresses through which they and students can be contacted. Dr. Mayer?
Yes, I want to underscore the importance of the radio as well. We also have suggested various activities, and we want our parents within this period of uncertainty to really look at educational instruction as an integrated approach. So by way of example, a parent engaging in making cookies, for example, using a recipe, all aspects of what we call academic work can be included. And so we encourage our parents to be creative. We note that also some parents are working during this period, and so it's the caregivers who may be there with the children. This is why we're finding simple and integrated ways to reach our parents through our schools. So coming back to my example of using a recipe, there's reading there's literacy, there's numeracy, there's counting, there's measuring, there's life skills, taking turns, who gets to do what, there is science. So parents need to really look beyond the simple child sits down for 2 hours working on a particular concept throughout the day. And let's look at their hobbies. What are their interests? What do they like to do? And they will also let us know what they like to do. At this juncture, I must again applaud some of our telecommunications partners. For example, we've identified on our Facebook page, on our website, a list of zero-rated resources, complements Digicel and other partners. We have our publishers coming on board to let us know, and we keep posting those, so kindly look at our Facebook page, the audio books that are available, the visual material, and our publishers are saying to us whatever they have, they're giving to us. So we keep posting that. So kindly, parents, look at our Facebook page where you will be given updated material all the time, reference some of the activities that can be done, as well as our zero-rated websites.
We need to applaud to the efforts of our curriculum officers, because you would appreciate that many companies, entities, organizations are reaching out to us to offer support in this very challenging time. And our curriculum officers within the Ministry of Education have had the task of going online to review the content that is captured in all of the various learning hubs, the platforms that are being made available to us. And they are the ones recommended. They would go in and tell me, PS, Flow Study definitely has some very good programs, and we are going to recommend it for the students. So this information, as the chief indicated, is available on our website. We would look at the Microsoft Teams, the Learning Hub presented by Digicel, and my curriculum officers are also reviewing the content there and assisting our teachers with putting together the necessary packages for our students. The curriculum officers are also integral in preparing information. The chief mentioned the teletutorials, and our curriculum officers are working closely with our teachers to be able to prepare content that is of quality and that speaks to the various curriculum content areas that we are instructing at various grade levels and form levels within our schools. So we have not only do we have a multifaceted approach to instruction, but we also have a very good team bringing together the areas of expertise to ensure that our students are not disadvantaged.
Okay, can you just go over ensuring access to education for this term? I know I may be harping it, but just to get it home to the persons who are watching via television and other means to understand and to ensure that their kids don't fall through the cracks of this venture.
Before the chief goes over what she would have said and added more to it, I want to say too that the Ministry of Education, Innovation and Gender Relations also has within its purview the Department of Innovation, and we are responsible for a number of innovation and career development centers. And we are hoping that for some of those students who do not have access to devices or internet connection, that based on the advice of the Ministry of Health, that we are able to allow our centers to be a point where these students can go in to collect the necessary information. The printing can be done there. They could access their various email accounts and information that teachers would have submitted to them, and allow them to be active participants in their learning. So our innovation and career development centers are one of the areas that we're looking at to allow our students to be able to access their information.
Yeah. Okay. The specific question was, how will my child access instruction? How will my child be engaged? I've got a child in grade 3. What is there for that child? The point at which to start is that there is a national instructional plan. There is significant engagement and appreciation and respect for individual schools, their culture, the school communities that they serve. Consequently, principals, district education officers, in collaboration and significant engagement with their teachers, are meant to put an instructional plan together which will meet the needs of their individual students whom they know best. That will be aligned with the national plan. We recognize that we're coming out of the official Easter break, so today would have been the first day that our teachers would have been formally back at school. I can say to you that during the Easter break, engagements had been had with those various stakeholders. However, we look to the schools, and that's why the minister has spoken, PS has spoken about the official reopening as next week, the 20th. At which time every school is charged with the responsibility of meeting the instructional needs and engaging with the individual students. Having said that, we cannot leave out the fact that many teachers throughout this week will reach out to their students. They have Facebook groups, they have WhatsApp groups with their parents' permission. So our teachers have been engaging our students. I know of several teachers who sent out their own surveys asking their students, how are you all doing? How do you all feel? So the social and emotional support is being encouraged. And like I said, many teachers are finding their own creative ways of engaging with the students. So the responsibility, in as much as there is a national instructional plan, we must appreciate and respect the need for the experts on the ground who best know their students to formulate that individual school plan which is aligned with the instructional plan that is national. And that is under the leadership of our various education officers and our various other stakeholders.
But added to that as well, we recognize that there are a number of challenges that we need to overcome. Mm-hmm. Some of these challenges include developing the capacity of our teachers. Yeah. We recognize that teachers need to be further trained. Some of them need to be retrained, because we have been engaging in training sessions for our teachers over the years as it relates to integrating ICT into education. But this week, the 13th, well, as of today, for the rest of the week, our teachers are going to be engaged in a number of training sessions, and these are geared to upskilling and retooling them as well. The other challenge that we faced has to do with the availability of devices and access to internet and technology for our students and teachers. The chief alluded to the fact that we had sent out a number of surveys and questionnaires, and from that information we would be able to capture the empirical data that would allow us to make the necessary decisions as to the numbers who are affected, how they impacted, and how we can narrow that gap to ensure that none of our students are left behind.
Okay. We have a question from our social media platform querying the early childhood learning. They want to know if early childhood learning centers are closed for just these 2 weeks that the Prime Minister has stated in terms of the partial shutdown, or for the entire term.
Our early childhood centers operate just like our regular classrooms, and the determination to reopen them would be based on instruction from the chief medical officer. So at this point, we can't say that they will be opening in 2 weeks or 3 weeks or next week, but based on the advice of the chief medical officer, who would advise us as to when it is safe to do so, at that point, then our early childhood centers would reopen.
Because I think there's definitely a concern that perhaps the nation would open up and perhaps the schools may remain closed. Where do parents leave their children and so on? So quite an interesting point made by the viewer.
But definitely something that we will work in collaboration with the Ministry of Health on, and to ensure that we come up with the best decision at the time.
Okay. Yeah. And now the responsibility of parents during this period. What must parents be mindful of at this time? What are their roles in this new initiative?
Definitely parents have a big part to play at this point, given that their children, their wards are going to be at home, being instructed from a distance. And so first of all, I know the chief has a whole list of other areas that she would want to touch on, but just from the strategic point of view, from the admin side of it, we want to ensure that our parents ensure that your students, your wards, they activate the email addresses that would have been created by their schools. This is the first step to ensure that our students are able to get the instruction that would have been provided to them. So we want them to do that. And we want them also to play an active role to ensure that the ward, the child completes the task that is assigned to them. We're not expecting the students to be online 8 hours a day, every day of the week. But I know that the schools are preparing packages in a manner that can be managed for a week. There will be assignments, and parents are asked to provide the necessary oversight to ensure that the students complete whatever it is assigned to them, and the feedback is provided to the teachers. Chief?
Yes, thank you, PS. The email addresses are for the secondary school students. In the first instance, we have some of our primary schools piloting as well. In our plan, we have a section identified guidelines for parents. And we note that we cannot in any way replicate a school within a family and a home. That is not the intention at all. The intention is that during this very uncertain period, that we work with our parents to support them, to guide them. And so the guidelines include, making the activities fun and engaging. One of the most basic ones is to listen to your child, and if your child says, "Mommy, I'm really tired, I need a break," that we can offer them that opportunity to have a drink of water. We look at things such as the basics that I spoke about, reading with your child, engaging with your child, reassuring your child. There is a lot happening in our entire society. A lot of our people feel stressed. A lot of our people are engaging in, they're thinking there's job loss. There's something that are beyond education, but we recognize that all of those things play a part. Our students are in households where, there's limited space, there's limited engagement. They may not have access to, hopefully we appreciate that they have access to basic food, but, the reality is that we do not know for all of them. So our parents are charged with a special responsibility, and a most basic one of me is hug your child, hold your child, make your child feel that he or she is safe within their school setting, and that even if they miss out on being in a school setting, a physical school setting, it's not the end of the world. All of us will overcome this, and it will be well. So see learning in ordinary activities. Go out and clean out the cupboard and look at all the labels and read all the labels and look at, so little things that you do, engage in chores at home. bring your child in and make your child, because the social and emotional aspect will be more significant than the academic, because some of that you can pull up, but right now it's about reassuring them and making sure that they feel safe.
And I also want to make an appeal to parents, because I've had a number of persons approach me asking, how can we help? I have computers, I have laptops at home that I am not using. They're in very good condition. How can I contribute towards the ministry's cause as it relates to reaching those vulnerable students? And so I'd just like to appeal to those parents, organizations who have computers, tablets, laptops that are not being utilized but still in very good condition, to let them know that this can be provided to the Ministry of Education, and our IT team will do the necessary cleanups, ensure that the necessary software is on there, and provide that device to our students, to allow students to access the information that is going to be sent to them. And should somebody want to contribute to that cause, these devices can be dropped off at our various district offices or at the Ministry of Education. Of course, the process is going to be one that allows for that takes into consideration health and safety matters.
We have a few questions from our social media platform. A question: which secondary schools got the e-books, the pilot schools?
That would have been the 13 secondary schools on island, where those students would have chosen their subjects for CXC at the end of Form 2. Because the content on these e-books are aligned with the CXC syllabus, it had to be provided to students at that level. And given that it's a pilot, we wanted to run over a 3-year period, we figured that demographic was most appropriate at that point. So students who would have chosen their subjects at the end of Form 2, and these would have been the subjects that they intend to write for CXC, moving into Form 3, these were the schools where that initiative was piloted.
Okay, we are due for a break, our first break. For those of you watching our live, thank you so much for joining. Thank you so much for watching and following this morning's broadcast. We have more details on the education system plans for the 3rd term. Do stay tuned.
Coronavirus? But children are safe, no?
Hold up. Children are actually more likely to touch all kinds of surfaces, put their hands on their mouths and their eyes, or sneeze and cough with little thought about hygiene when around others. While children have been seen to recover well from this virus, they can easily spread it to those more at risk, like the elderly or ill persons who have a weaker immune system. Teach the little ones in your care to be little powerhouses of infection prevention. Keep reminding them, wash your hands. Cover your mouth with tissue or your inner elbow when you sneeze and cough. And be sure to praise them when you see them taking these precautions. Our health is in our hands. Together, through simple actions, we can stop the spread of coronavirus. This message was brought to you by the Bureau of Health Education of the Ministry of Health and Wellness.
Welcome back to the broadcast. You are watching the National COVID-19 Response Report here on NTN. My name is Jessie Leonce. I'm joined in studio by Carlton Cyril, also known as Cokes, translating this morning. And we have 2 special guests from the Ministry of Education, Innovation and Gender Relations. Michelle Charles, the Permanent Secretary in the Ministry, and Dr. Fiona Phillip-Mayer, the Chief Education Officer. We've been speaking on quite a lot, going over the interventions by the ministry to try to meet this COVID situation as best as possible, ensure that students continue learning. It's going to be a learning from home term, this 3rd term. Can you speak to us about additional accommodations being made, plans being made? I know during the break we spoke about the school feeding program.
Yes, I would let the chief handle that aspect of it. Yes.
This is an area that is of significant importance to us, and we had been working with various agencies and groupings trying to find out how best to reach our students. We note as a country that many students get a warm meal at school. If the lines at the supermarket spoke to anything, it spoke to basic needs that families need to make sure that they have. And so we've had allocations for our school feeding program in place for the 3rd term. And with our team at the Ministry of Education, we are putting in plans for nutritional support based on the feedback that we're getting from our principals in terms of some of our vulnerable families. We note that some of our children have suffered losses in terms of fires at their homes. You know, some families have lost employment. And it is really our way to reach them and to give whatever we can in a packaged way, in a safe pick up and drop off, also in a fair and equitable manner, based on the feedback that we get from our principals with various lists of students and their contact numbers. So that is being coordinated from our school feeding coordinator in conjunction with our offices in the Ministry of Education, and those packages will be made available to the public, specific to the students who need it and based on the list that we have been afforded. So it is not that we can give every family something, but it is that we're identifying our most vulnerable students. And as that is rolled out, you will get further information via our Facebook page, via the various WhatsApp groups that the principals and teachers are part of. And we also note that communities that can contribute, groupings that can contribute to that cause, kindly let us know. We may have corporate entities among us who could say to us that we're able to give a certain amount of resources towards that, and so we encourage you to do so as we pull our own resources together to ensure that our students get nutritional support during this period.
Any accommodation made for students, children who perhaps may not have that level of support at home, parents who do not have the competency, parents who may be going through mental health issues, etc.?
Our special education students in particular, that was a discussion that we were having. Up to yesterday, the point was made that some of our special education students have parents who have special needs themselves. So how can you reach them? And so we encourage the community. We know our people in St. Lucia. We know our people very well. And so if we know that there is a family that's struggling, the whole kudme and the whole support of neighbor should be part and parcel, not only of education, but, you know, generally. And if we know there's a family without connectivity, in a safe manner that we can support them, let us do so. If we know there's a family that's marginalized and, you know, individuals have not reached them, kindly let us know through the principals, through the education offices. So our collaborative effort is not only for education, it's for reaching our children and supporting our families, both those with special education needs, mental issues, you know, those who have a bit less, how best can we reach out to them?
And also on the psychosocial aspect of things, we are working too with our guidance counselors, and we will be making available a list of numbers where persons who would require that kind of support, they could reach out to our district counselors for any necessary interventions that would allow them, especially on the psychosocial front.
Okay. Just to go over the level of access that will be granted to community libraries or ICT centers in general, what degree of access will the public have under the Emergency Powers Act?
Well, that is still being discussed because we have been doing an audit of the equipment at the libraries and at the ICT centers, now renamed Innovation and Career Development Centers. But we have done the audit at those facilities, but we need to engage the Ministry of Health and also in conjunction with the Attorney General's office to determine what liberties would we have as it relates to ensuring that persons can access these facilities. Of course, anything that would be done, any intervention would have to be one that is well aligned with the health and safety parameters put forward by the Ministry of Health.
Okay. I now hand you over to Carlton Cyril, Mr. Cyril, better known as Cox, Michelle Charles, Permanent Secretary in the Ministry of Education, Dr. Fiona Phillip-Mayer, Chief Education Officer. Cox.
Merci tellement, Jessie. Encore, bon moi dit bonjour pour vous qui écoutez nous, ou qui avez nous sur télévision. Nous ici, venus pour Vermin COVID-19, headquarters là ici à Studio GIS. Bon matin, nous avons parlé, puis c'est Jean Hord, département éducation, avec ça, Michelle Charles, PS ministre éducation, et puis Dr. Fiona Phillip-Mayer, chef éducation, officier chef éducation ici en département éducation. Là où ça va parmi bagay qui trouve qu'on yo affecté c'est éducation. Question les moi ça veut dire en chay de nous c'est qui ça qui a fait et puis éducation. Là nous parler d'éducation, nous ka parler de différents stages là venu pour ces maman là qui a commencé puis c'est petit quoi nous a dit c'est preschool c'est plus petit nous a parlé de ces maman là qui est là même après ça grade D4 monter pour secondaire et puis yon manière ben l'autre nous pas ça oublier ces maman là qui plus vulnérable parmi nous tout ça ni pour adresser quand ou ils savent ministre là qu'on différents départements les autres départements qui dépendait à sous information qui a sorti hard chef medical officier 6 mois pour faire chaque décision. Pour raison ça, nous tenons ministre Rigobert qui a adressé nation dimanche. Raison pour ça, il a adressé pour bail direction éducation point ça qui affecté l'éducation et manière yo kay adresser situation. Comme on te dit en commencement, en chay bagay changer. Quoi bon matin, c'est un info pour bailler une explanation pour qui ça qui fait, qui direction qu'a point, qui manière bagay là kaye passe ou ni pour d'accord COVID-19 a affecté tout le monde. Ma kay aller plus loin. Mais moi quand il m'a dit yon des questions du docteur et puis pièce là ici et puis moi question moi quand commencer puis anik dis-nous n'a commencé pour pièce anik ma quand dire ouais pour just question moi quand moun quand veut savoir parce que moi quand a une explanation et ça moi dire moi que moun ha comprendre éducation de devait quoi affecté aussi moi quand commencer pour dire qui est ça ou quoi qui était plus gros détermination et bien qui ça qui était à tout fait quoi affecté plus là venu pour éducation.
Merci pour ça Cox et n'a essayé adresser question au camarade. Là nous te kakachile about ça un ministre là. Nous quoi ça qui était plus difficile c'est conseil maman là la caillou actuellement qui manière nous ka faire estuio qui manière nous ka bayo matériaux yo ça fait travail et puis c'est ça qui était plus difficile pour nous un ministre là pour décider à sous.
OK. L'autre bail là moi dit aussi en adresse ministre là il parlait de consultation yo teni et puis différents les vini pour éducation et puis moun qui affecté si nous t'es bien écouter on parler puis teachers union on parler puis ces jeunes gens on parler de CXC common entrance asu qui raison pour qui ça a été nécessaire pour mener ces moun ensemble et puis pour ni consultation ça et puis yo
nado un ministre là manière nous qu'a fait décision c'est pas nous seulement qu'a rester un ministre là qui décider ce qui ça pour faire nous savons nous pas ni toutes ces réponses là et pour ça nous pour mener toutes ces parties ensemble so nous ça fait première décision à sous toute information toute monnaie nous pas toutes seulement c'est oui nous pas connaître toute bagaille mais aussi spécialement pour ces unions c'est yo qui a représenté plus grand membre en secteur nous et pour c'est important nous consulter avec eux oui nous une consultation avec eux so nous ça nous ka couiller baïn so nous tout à sur même page là qu'on nous a fait décision qui a affecté l'éducation cette liste.
Quand le département d'éducation n'est pas arrêté là, nous just fait ça comme ça, nous on a fait bagaille vaille.
Non.
On a essayé de venir et c'est mounza et ben bon, ou a dit moi ça à présent quoi, moi quand il m'a dit docteur Fiona mais l'invini moi question à présent moun gars veut savoir c'est l'invini pour l'école avec l'école qui a ouvert qui date nous avait qui manière ça kay point coup parce que nous savons pas kay yon bagay qui a fait sans haute direction qu'on pièce bien dit pas quoi y en dit l'école ouvert quoi qui manière ça kay fait là il vient pour l'école et ben nous date là qui date l'école kay ouvert qui manière ça kay fait
l'école kay ouvert lundi qui a venu
lundi
21, ça nous ni pour regarder, c'est si men ça là, commence jeudi, 10 fois l'école, l'année district education officers l'année mettre l'école l'année c'est mom teachers l'école là yo ka joindre en dedans semaine ça là
c'est comme
semaine ça là c'est planning et puis préparation parce que nous ça apprécier l'autre semaine bagay pas kay même manière si nous t'es dans l'école là tout le monde dans l'école ensemble so c'est pas nous qui ça fait décision about maman qui kay venir à l'école là parce que si whole nation pas Premier ministre a dit aux pièces passe à nous aussi la pani pièce mouvement avec nous avec l'école là avec ces teachers mais ça nous voulait faire nous apprécier ça c'est différentes situations ça c'est une situation qui nous veut tout partout en la terre so il très important pour ces gens qui travaillent avec ces mamans là ces teachers qui connaissent yo connaissent chaque maman qui est dans la classe, yo connaît maman, yo connaît papa, yo connaît situation si maman yo ni en responsabilité pour point toute maman ça, pour point situation l'école yo. Avec nous ça des fois l'école, des fois en l'école pédou si maman là toute maman là l'école ça ka wete hod même commune non. Là ni l'autre l'école si maman là tout partout. So chaque situation ni pour garder parce que yo tout différent. Et parce que yo tout différent, nous ni pour garder pour ces gens qui pli meilleur, c'est teacher, c'est principal là, c'est district education officer pour yo ça porter yo ensemble. Parce que nous ni yo seul, c'est seul bail nous voulons faire. Nous voulons make sure tout maman, nous voulons toucher yo, nous voulons savoir côté yo, nous voulons protéger yo, nous voulons ba yo information, nous voulons ba yo instruction car pour longtemps car monter.
Quoi si moi comprendre moi voulais bien comprendre ça au cas dire si moi faire les ouais au cas dit moi quoi vini hodi mardi
oui
ça qui a fait c'est des fois l'école c'est des fois mon principal teacher mon qui vient ensemble pour planer puis pour mettre bagaille en place parce que l'école même qui est ouvert les 20 mais ouvert nous ka parler à ces direction l'école qui pour aller devant
oui mais Rodia, si même ça, là yo ka venir ensemble, yo pas ka venir ensemble tout en dans la chambre. En chay c'est Zoom yo ka servi, yo ka Skype business, différentes manières. So nous ka virtual meetings yo ka.
So ka c'est on ça ka rien sur computer sur internet pas dans une chambre tout le monde parce que toujours nous ça 20 minutes là.
Oui.
OK.
So il pour dire ça.
Quoi les 20 et puis dis-nous à présent ça moi voulais savoir c'est différentes examinations. Ça c'est l'autre conseil en Chaimouni. PS moi qu'on répondre ça. Là il vini pour CXC. Là il vini pour Common Entrance. Là il vini pour Minimum Standard. En Chaimouni qui ça qui a fait ça? Est-ce qu'il a pris un cours qui ça qui a fait ça?
OK, pour ces examens comme Minimum Standards là. Minimum Standards c'est ti maman là qui était en grade 2D avec grade 4. Oui, c'est yo qui a écrit examen ça. Nous pas qu'à faire examen ça l'année. Oui, pour l'année ça, nous pas qu'à faire.
OK.
Mais l'année travail c'est maman là t'ai fait avec nous t'ai garder ça avec l'école oui ouvert en septembre, nous qu'à bayo réponse à tout ça.
OK.
What common entrance exam, nous qu'à espérer à sous direction ministre santé advise nous.
Oui, conseil hors CMO et puis ministry.
So dépendant de ça yo dit, nous qu'à faire on
déterminer.
Oui, nous qu'à déterminer qui joue exam ça qu'à fait et nous qu'à bailler ces petits maman là avec ces teachers à 7 ans pour yo ça préparer quoi yo pour faire exam ça.
Quand là il vient pour common entrance, nous voulons moun savent that you ha hot ka espérer sous direction CMO.
Oui.
Quoi rien pour qu'on dire ça. Ou voulez dire aussi que là vini pour ça, moun pas briser paix, yo kay bay ces maman là 7 ans pour préparer et puis c'est teacher aussi qui a 7 ans pour préparer travail là bay ces maman là.
Oui, okay. C'est ça.
Moi ni pour mettre un teacher à sous ça aussi. Là nous joignent information l'école ça ouvert. Common entrance. C'est pas seulement nous kay garder puis meilleure date. Quand PS a dit nous ka continuer parler So, là nous savons il a fait nous garder pour ces différents moun nous travailler avec là pour demander yo comment avec même si nous ni certains plans nous voulons faire nous still ka engager yo nous ka still garder avec yo parler avec yo pour demander qui ça qui pli meilleur parce que aussi nous savons ça c'est un goal exam ça pas un petit exam nous pas voulons seulement faire une décision mais nous ka continuer pour demander yo avec garder pour instruire yo pour garder pour ces différentes informations yo ça ben nous pour nous ça faire décision
avec moi quoi yon ces bagay là qui mentionné c'est là vini pour manier common entrance qui trouvé quoi écrit nous ka ni ça nous qui multiple choice à présent.
Oui, c'est raison pour multiple choice là. Nous ni pour faire tout le monde savent aussi. Manière common entrance là qu'a fait. Là ni différents papiers ce moment là ni pour matcher. Et puis là ni papier ou ni besoin c'est plusieurs monde pour écrire pour garder ça papier ça là qu'a passer hod comme moun ça means moun ni pour toucher moun ni pour engager avec yo nous ka aussi ni go hall qui ni 40 moun qui ni 30 moun so nous ni pour garder ça parce que ça c'est en situation santé nous ni pour protéger ce moment là nous ni pour garder aussi quand t'es temps ce moment là kay assise avant ou t'es assise whole journée mais nous ni pour toutes ces bagages ça là avec nous ni aussi nous j'ai parlé avec chief medical officer et nous t'es bien apprécié là nous t'es en meeting il était avec nous passer du temps because nous voulons essayer pas faire décision ça là nous voulons essayer pour toujours parler avec eux et puis direction c'est CMOA Jean santé tout le monde qui est responsable pour santé.
Moi, je vais dire sur ça, chief là, just parler à sous. Multiple choice exam, c'est ça. Ça nous a marqué, comme on dit, il a correcté, ça a été fait electronically. So la pas de personne qui a chébé papier, qui a passé pour l'autre ça, pour garder l'autre partie. Oui, c'est pour ça nous décidé pour aller avec multiple choice parce que nous ça matché ça electronically.
Eh bien bon, ça c'est une bonne explanation. Moi, ça qui était c'est CXC et puis décision les CXC et puis qui l'autre là?
Oui, pour CXC, c'est gouvernement,
c'est pays le
oui, c'est pays qui a still décidé. CXC a mis devant nous ta option pour nous catcher à sous. Mais c'est le gouvernement ni pour décider qui laisse là, il est plus confortable.
Quoi, en décision pour qu'on...
non, en décision pour qu'on fait.
On a une option, mais là, pour qu'on ait une pièce de décision.
Non, CXC a essayé de ça quoi
qui plie meilleur,
mais c'est le gouvernement même là, ni pour décider si ça acceptable.
Oui, si, parce que c'est pas un exemple ici. Nous
non, c'est pas ici seulement.
Blanc, il y a une décision côté tout qui tombe en parasol.
Oui, c'est ça.
Et pour CXC, avec moi, où était là où était yon CS hier. Quoi, nous toucher tout à ce tout. CXC comme un entrance.
Tout ça qu'a fait par CXC, décision qu'a still nous qu'a still espérer décision.
OK, vitement qu'on m'a été jet et puis d'autres à présent. Là il vient pour moi on parler à sous un chat moun gars dit bon qui manière ça qu'a fait, qui manière c'est teacher yo pas vle moun venir ensemble, yo vle moun change distance là. So qui décision ministérielle après moi ouais ou parler dit là il vient pour éducation par internet à présent. Côté information c'est maman là qui manière yo kay henni là vini pour ces différents grades là maman secondaire c'est maman là qui en l'école primary c'est qui manière ça fait qui décision ministérielle après pour bailler ces maman là information et puis matouyo yo kay briser n'importe quoi ça répondre
pour matouyo nous ka travailler aussi avec différents monde parce que nous savent c'est pas toute maman qui ni nous ça dit parler internet mais c'est pas toute maman qui ni un laptop qui ni un tablette c'est pas toute maman qui ni internet là aussi en compagnie c'est teacher nous yo ni on difficulté mais nous ka travailler avec tout ça nous ça fait nous ka essayer faire nous ka also dit merci pour toutes ces monde même si yo ka servi yo ka servi bagay yo qui ça yo même mais yo still ka fait bagay pour joindre ce maman yo so nous ka dit yo merci pour ça avec nous voulons augmenter ça aussi. Pour nous, il est important pour nous garder toute bagaille. Nous avons gardé, oui, nous voulons aller pour servir Internet pour faire éducation, faire primaire. Mais nous n'y pour aussi garder l'année moun qui pani.
Oui.
So nous n'y pour garder radio. Nous savons presque toute famille ni en radio. Nous savons en compagnie moun ni télévision. Là style ni moun cette liste qui pani lumière. So nous n'y pour garder différentes manières. So c'est pour ça nous te parler about nous kay print, nous kay ni packages pour ces moun parce que nous n'y pour garder toute maman nous garder situation yo ni avec comment nous ça joindre, comment nous ça aider, comment nous ça supporter.
Quoi, si moi bien comprendre, moi qu'à faire ça parce que ça c'est question qui doit là, ça c'est bagay moun vle comprendre décision qui point kay demander encore et même si nous fait ici on va ici une question, mais si yon moun tan l'autre ça dit moins tan. Quoi, ça y a, yon a ces manières c'est affaires computer et puis à sur internet. L'autre manière si moi bien comprendre nous radio. L'autre manière c'est télévision. L'autre manière yo kay bay matuyo moun sa passe c'est l'école les direction kay bay côté yo ça masse matuyo ça quoi yo kay ni livre yo kay ni papier qui hani travail là si moi te ka écouter bien yo nan se bagay là yo ka encourager parents pour faire c'est là venir c'est maman là qui peut-être kay fait par computer puis internet pour yo joindre yon adresse email adresse quoi manière ça teacher kay ni adresse yo kay ni adresse teacher yo kay ça communiquer ça c'est yon c'est maman là qui a fait par computer ouais l'autre manière c'est là venir pour par livre yo ka demander parents pour faire arrangement pour yo même ça masser matuyo et puis mener ba yo ba c'est maman là qui ka ça vie mener quoi yo ni connexion qui ka communiquer avec c'est maman là qui a fait travail là belle cause. Quoi, moi, messieurs, dames, quand nous questionner département d'éducation là, par c'est nous qui a représenté nous, ou qu'a comprendre ces questions, ou peut-être qu'à demander, savent ou ja tenni. Dernièrement, docteur Fiona, moi, voulons toucher un petit à les vini pour maman qui vont nous avoir parmi nous. Et manger, nous savons, ministère a tenu un programme côté, yo ka soin c'est maman ça. Qui manière hot kaya, est hot adressé, qui ça qui a fait c'est maman ça?
Oui, merci. Avec ce maman ça là, c'est maman qui toujours touché moi, botché moi.
Okay.
So ça nous a fait, nous a demandé c'est head teacher c'est à l'école là pour ban nous en liste, pour ban nous maman yo savent différentes situations. Liste là c'est pas pour garder qui moun qui nie qui moun qui pas ni. Liste là c'est pour aider. Nous savons l'année des fois moun qui j'ai fait pète travail, nous savons des fois moun qui yo j'ai brûlé, nous savons l'année un chay bagay qui a fait nous savons maman nous qui te hani situation avant ça t'est fait. So pour garder ça, nous ni l'argent pour l'école là, nous te kay bay l'école là à manger pour ce maman là t'es ça t'as joué à manger chaud tous les jours. Mais nous ka garder l'autre manière pour nous ça essayer pour aider c'est même ces maman ça là. Parce que nous savons, en famille qui pas ni manger, ou savez tout papier l'école où il la caillou, ça va faire rien bayo parce que nous ni pour garder pour bouder nous avant. So nous ni pour garder pour comment nous ça essayer pour aider ce maman ça là et nous jani un plan qu'on nous ça parler tout plan ça là en parmi nous, en parmi l'autre différents monde, nous kay ça dit mam qui identifier si aussi moun communauté à connaître moun yo ça aider. Nous quand encourager tout le monde pour faire un coup de main pour aider mais quand hard éducation aussi nous ni un plan pour supporter ces mamans ça avec nous ça parler avec ça là nous garder l'école là nous garder moun qui en charge l'école là avec ces district education officer principals tout le monde ensemble.
Encore il y en a ces appels là moi quoi qui était fait là vini pour encore maman qui peut-être qu'il fait par computer et internet yo ka dit si ou peni yon computer yon laptop kayo qui ka travail et ou ça assister en manière ben l'autre par by département équipement ça moi tan avec moi ka bien écouter et pièce là dit où ça mener en trip où ça fait ça office district officer education éducation ouais tout et ben ou ça mener un département éducation yo kay travailler là yo kay nettoyer yo kay faire ça yo ni pour faire puis là parce que là ni maman qui panique on nous bien dit toute maman est panique opportunité ça mais si ou ça aider ça te kay un bon bagay encore ou si vous connaître office côté éducation et en commune ça mener là et ben un département éducation ici à Castouille. Dernière parole pièce ou te kay à vous doit dire cette lycée là ni pour faire éducation c'est maman là parents même c'est teacher avec l'autre monde qui est involvé.
Oui, merci Cox. Moi je pour dire tout le monde ministre éducation nous là pour aider et nous committed. Manière qu'a dit ça Creole. Nous voulons dire that nous voulons essayer que instruire avec un point pas disrupted. Pièce et pièce ti maman pièce élève pas quitter derrière.
OK.
Avec nous kay faciliter toute ça manière nous ça fait pour essayer notre pièce et bailler ça parfaite.
OK, dernière parole docteur.
Merci un pile nous voulons aussi applaudir. Là ni plusieurs monde qui j'ai fait plusieurs bagailles. Nous ka dire merci pour nous ka parler spécifiquement pour teacher qui ka travaille, principals qui ka travaille, education officers, curriculum officers. Là ni plusieurs monde en parmi nous qui ka travaille. Avec nous voulons dire merci pour ça. Nous voulons dire garder pour yon a l'autre, supporter yon a l'autre. Nous savons en parmi nous ni plusieurs monde qui ni information. Yo ni skills, yo ni bagay yo sa aider avec. Pas wete derrière avec dire l'autre monde kay fait.
Oui.
Skouyer toutes ces teachers ensemble et c'est pour ça nous ka parler pour l'école parce que chaque école ni même teachers qui ça fait et qui ça joindre ces maman là. So nous pensons à 6 tout le monde pour faire yon bagay parce que nous savons il différent tout partout. Mais nous voulons applaudir yo, mais nous voulons dire on nous travaille ensemble. Ça pas seulement éducation, nous tous ni en responsabilité pour payer nous. Nous avons responsabilité pour ces moments là, nous avons responsabilité pour travail là nous dit nous qu'à faire avec nous ni pour travailler ensemble pour garder situation ça là. Avec nous ça, nous avec toute information nous savons nous qu'à faire plus bien, mais nous tous ni pour faire essayer pour travailler ensemble pour ça fait. So nous qu'à dire merci.
Eh bien, messieurs, dames, là on est question peut-être que voulez demander information peut-être que voulez tan ou jahenne ou hatan et pour raison ça ou aussi savent là ni adresse ou ni pièce information voulez savent nous ni yon adresse là qui c'est info@education.gov.lc. Encore info@education.gov.lc. C'est sur une pièce l'autre question de quand vous devez si vous voulez poser pièce l'autre question qui n'est pour faire examen l'école. Encore nous avons messieurs pour vous qui a coûté ou qui est là puis nous avons information qu'on nous joignent et bon matin c'est éducation. Jessie, merci un peu.
Thank you, Carlton. Madam CEO and Madam PS, any final words?
No, just to re-emphasize what we would have said, or I attempted to say in Creole. But we really want to assure the public, our teachers, our students, that we are committed, that we want to ensure that learning and teaching is not greatly disrupted, that we want to ensure that no child is left behind. We will facilitate the process that supports virtual and remote student-teacher engagement. We will implement strategies and strategic interventions that would allow for distribution of devices and access to our students. Our special education unit will be working collaboratively with our various mainstream institutions to ensure that even that demographic is taken care of. And our school feeding program, as our chief has already indicated, will continue, though in a different format. And all of those interventions, of course, will be done in a manner that is aligned with the health and safety procedures dictated by the Ministry of Health. We want to thank to all of the various organizations who have reached out to us at the Ministry of Education. We have Digicel, we have Flow, we have UNICEF, we have the World Bank, we have the OECS Commission. So many entities who reached out to us, and we are very thankful for their engagement, and we're looking forward to working collaboratively with them.
Dr. Meyer?
Yeah. Thank you very much. The responsibility is that of all of us. And as educators, we have a special part to play in ensuring that our students get instruction, are engaged. And so we call on the skills of everyone, and more importantly, the attitude of giving, the attitude of goodwill, the attitude of engagement, to say, let us pool those skills together so that our students are reached in the best possible manner. I did speak for appreciation of individuals, and I think I must highlight it, that many individuals have come to the fore. PS mentioned several partners, but we also have people on the ground who've come out as teachers and said, how can I help? And I have material that I can share with others. So it is important that we recognize that we're all experts in this manner, that our teachers have a significant part to play to reach their individual students because they know them best. And that our principals are charged with the responsibility of leading their teams alongside their education offices and officers, and so they liaise with us. We want to make sure that our plans are aligned, so the school plan, the district plan, the national plan. And we've given various guidelines, and we continue to say it must be significant and relevant to that school community so that we reach those individual children. So let me again thank you for engaging us, and to reiterate our commitment to supporting, our commitment to listening likewise, our commitment to getting advice and refining and redefining our way forward together, collaboratively.
Yes, I must say too that I wish definitely to recognize the efforts of Miss Menal. Miss Menal is one of our officers in the special education unit, and she's the one ensuring that the hearing impaired within our community actually get the message as well. So her services are recognized and greatly appreciated.
Thank you.
Wonderful. Thank you very much for the translations. info@education.gov.lc. So for those of you asking online, the email address for all your queries to the Ministry of Education regarding what we have just discussed this morning, info@education.gov.lc. Permanent Secretary, Michelle Charles, Chief Education Officer, Dr. Fiona Phillip-Mayer, we would like to thank you so much from the Ministry of Education, Innovation, Gender Relations and Sustainable Development. Thank you so much for sitting in with us, giving us this very important information. I think many parents were, at one point scratching their heads, wondering what is going to happen amid this COVID-19 situation. And I think you have elucidated the public. Thank you very much for that.
Thank you for the opportunity to share our plans with our stakeholders.
Thank you. Third term this academic year will be a learning from home term. Officials from the Ministry of Education they've been very comprehensive in their explanations, and we will be having remote virtual learning, and this will take place as well as special arrangements for examination. So that's the information coming there from the Ministry of Education. We have more coming up this morning. We want to go to break. We have more coming up this morning, including some news updates for you. $2.5 million raised from the telethon on Easter Sunday to pay for frontline workers' personal protective equipment. Also, the government is planning a phased reopening of the economy for after the extended partial shutdown. And of course, you're just hearing the Ministry of Education announcing plans for the third term of the academic year amid COVID-19. We have some clips from the Honorable Dr. Gail Rigobert making the initial announcements with regards to that. We have the Honorable Minister Bradley Felix coming up next. He will be sitting in studio with us. He's the Minister for Commerce, Industry, Investment, Enterprise, Development and Consumer Affairs. So he will be speaking on the Prime Minister's update this weekend, as well as the overall Emergency Powers Act where it regards consumers, commerce, industry, investment, etc. So just to remind persons, the country is not open for business. We've been seeing quite a few businesses opened, so the Honorable Minister will be touching on that as well. The country is not open for business if you're not an essential service or listed on the hardware and home service stores list that the government has put out, and that is after you've applied and received permission from the government, then you're not allowed to open. So please take note of that. We have the Honorable Minister Bradley Felix coming to speak more on that. Once again, thank you very much for sitting in with us. Do stay tuned. We have more coming up after this break.
Thank you.
Coronavirus, but children are safe, no?
Hold up. Children are actually more likely to touch all kinds of surfaces, put their hands on their mouths and their eyes, or sneeze and cough with little thought about hygiene when around others. While children have been seen to recover well from this virus, they can easily spread it to those more at risk, like the elderly or ill persons who have a weaker immune system. Teach the little ones in your care to be little powerhouses of infection prevention. Keep reminding them, wash your hands. Cover your mouth with tissue or your inner elbow when you sneeze and cough. And be sure to praise them when you see them taking these precautions. Our health is in our hands. Together, through simple actions, we can stop the spread of coronavirus. This message was brought to you by the Bureau of Health Education of the Ministry of Health and Wellness.
Cette lisi ka registre vermin corona ek I ka fait mouvement ek an chay vitesse tan chaque canef ka kouye pour vigilance publique la fait wolo parler en place publique kon bol en main base ti boutique changer distance sociale 6 pieds hod yon a lot I ka travay tan si ou senti ko pa cordial quarantine ko patwe contact et puis l'autre en cas où te toi pe exposé c'est un ekouye free 11 ou ben n'importe clinique yo pou les pays a dimi à clé ça veut dire les supermarkets pharmacie et puis ATM yo accessible avant c'était souhait pays à clé en plein ça veut dire tout bagay fermé à 24 heures. Servi protocole comme sorti par bureau indication santé. Nous tout ensemble, ça sauver vermine corona. Si nous tous servi jidla à toutes les.
Together let us win this war. Say we shall be a soldier. Together we can beat this corona.
Hi, I'm Jim Joseph, President of the Beausejour Community Group. We believe St. Lucia can win the war against the coronavirus and his health. Every community in St. Lucia must mobilize, coordinate, monitor and support residents the way we would before, during and after a natural disaster. Identify volunteers in your community, assign them roles and deploy them. Ensure your elderly and vulnerable understand all protocols. Help relatives, shield them from unnecessary contact with others. Identify those recently unemployed and vulnerable neighbors living alone. Put systems in place to filter updates from official sources throughout your community. Promote the hotline number 311. If it takes a village to raise a child, then all of us can come together to defend the village against the coronavirus. Let's do it.
Together let us win this war. Say we shall be a soldier. Together we can beat this
In a world
corona.
where germs are widespread, comes a group of superhero germ busters, the germaphores.
We spend most of our time fighting germs, every day of the week. After I play, I wash my hands. Before I eat, I wash my hands. After I play with my puppy, I wash my hands. I cover my sneezes with my forearm or elbow when I am in public. And I cover my cough to avoid spreading dangerous germs. We are the germaphobes, germ-busting superheroes. You can be too. Always wash your hands and cover your sneeze and cough. Let's stop the spread of menacing germs.
We'll be back, germaphobes, with more powerful germs.
And we will be waiting to prevent you from spreading.
Welcome back to the broadcast. You're watching NTN Live. This is the COVID-19 response report this morning. My name is Jessie Leonce if you're just joining us, and I'm joined in studio by Carlton Cyril, better known as Cokes. Morning, Cokes.
Bonjour, morning, Jess.
We just had a wonderful interview with the Chief Education Officer and the Permanent Secretary in the Ministry of Education, and they were just giving us information on the alternative arrangements made amid the COVID-19 situation for students island-wide from the early childhood learning, early childhood stages to all the way up to tertiary levels. So we hope you did have an opportunity to sit in for that interview and hear the arrangements that have been made. The Permanent Secretary in the Ministry of Education, Michelle Charles, and Dr. Fiona Phillip-Mayer, the Chief Education Officer. So providing very much needed information. There were some parents, Cokes, that weren't sure what was going to happen.
Exactly.
You know, with the announcement that plans were already being made for the phasing in of, you know, the coming back of the economy. You know, persons wanted to know what was going on with the education sector. We also did have a statement made, a very comprehensive statement, I might add, being made by the Honorable Dr. Gail Rigobert, the Minister for Education, yesterday was? No,
Sunday.
on Easter Sunday.
Yeah.
And she did go over some of the talking points that we went over with the CEO and the Permanent Secretary this morning. So when you do get a chance to take a listen, you can sit in on our YouTube and Facebook platforms and take a listen to the minister's address. Other news updates this morning: $2.5 million raised in the telethon for frontline workers' personal protective equipment. Also, the government is now planning a phased reopening of the economy for after the extended partial shutdown. The Prime Minister, the Honorable Alan Chasney, delivered an update to the nation, joined by Chief Medical Officer Dr. Sharon Belmar-George on Easter Sunday. That was just before the telethon started. His announcement: the partial shutdown on island continues.
Cabinet has agreed to maintain the existing partial shutdown, scale-down operations for the period of April 14th until April 26, 2020. We've agreed to expand the activities under the hardware service as well as home suppliers to include emergency renovation and maintenance activities at the household level to facilitate water storage, plumbing maintenance in preparation for the drought alert. And I know that there are many solutions that are handymen and have probably been equally frustrated that they're at home and there's so many things that they could have done at home. So this is to help you be able to get access to the materials that you would need to be able to continue repairing your own homes, as well as preparing your home for the drought and certainly preparing your home for the upcoming hurricane season.
Hardware service includes home supplies companies including SNS, Voyager, and Flavor. Those companies are expected to apply through the Ministry of Commerce, which will then, in collaboration with the Ministry of Health and Ministry of Security, move to ensure that they are aware of the expected protocols while operating under a partial scale down. We have the Honorable Minister Bradley Felix coming in to speak to us more about that. Meantime, a clip from the Prime Minister.
That we've agreed at Cabinet to appoint a committee to work with the private sector and all the public health departments to start now putting the protocols in place for the full operationalization of our commercial activity. I'm indicating to you we're putting a plan in place, but we have not implemented that as yet. We are going to maintain the partial shutdown until April 26.
That clip there from the Honorable Alan Chasney, Prime Minister of St. Lucia, speaking on the planned phased reopening of the economy. And this will not be done within the 2-week extension of the partial scale down. The Prime Minister is speaking on plans for the planned phased reopening of the economy after this extended partial scale down. So right now we are under a partial shutdown. It continues from last week. We continue to be under partial shutdown. It is in effect until otherwise noted by the Prime Minister, but he thought it important to make note that the government is making plans for the resumption of business commercial activity in the country. Just to make a note on that point, the country is not open for business. Only essential services as per the government's list are allowed to open. We are still on a scale down operation, so there shouldn't be non-essential services opening up. Only hardware and home service stores, as I mentioned earlier, are allowed to open upon application and permission from the officials. The Prime Minister went on to express gratitude to frontliners and officials of the Ministry of Health for their dedication during the fight against COVID-19. Again, that was ahead of the telethon that was raising funds for frontliners, their personal protective equipment, and so the Prime Minister just expressed gratitude to these individuals. The Chief Medical Officer, Dr. Sharon Belmar-George, was on hand to provide an update on how the confirmed cases of COVID-19 were progressing on island. As you may already know, the island confirmed another case on Friday. It was an 18-year-old contracting the COVID-19 disease. We have a clip from Dr. Belmar-George.
As of April 12, 2020, St. Lucia has recorded a total of 15 confirmed cases of COVID-19. The first 2 cases were repatriated to the United Kingdom between March 24th and 25th, and 4 of our remaining cases have since recovered and discharged from hospital care. To date, all of the confirmed cases are recovering well with no complications. We continue to report 0 deaths of COVID-19 in St. Lucia.
They're coming from Dr. Sharon Belmar-George, the Chief Medical Officer, also speaking with the Prime Minister of St. Lucia, the Honorable Alan Chasney. And that brief press conference was held prior to the telethon and was moderated by the Senior Communications Officer, Ms. Nicole MacDonald. Just to go over some important notes, the partial shutdown will be maintained for another fortnight from April 14th to April 26th. The period of curfew also remains, that is 7 p.m. to 5 a.m. In addition to grocery stores and other essential services, hardware stores and home suppliers will also be opened during the coming week in preparation for the upcoming hurricane season. The government is now planning a phased reopening of commercial activities as long as St. Lucia is able to contain community transmission of COVID-19, and that is an effort all of us have to pull in to ensure. The government of St. Lucia continues to encourage adherence to physical distancing protocols at all levels. Carlton?
Merci, cher Jesse. Comme ça, nous ici, nous avons développement qu'on y fait, nous avons information qu'on nous joigne, qu'on y pour faire, et puis vermin COVID-19, ou qu'on y savent holiday pack là, en chai développement. Parmi eux, ou qu'on y savent nous tenir téléphone ici en studio. Attention, c'était pour gagner équipement, c'est travailler essentiel là. C'est moun ça, ou savent, c'est eux qui devant les venir pour combattre vermin COVID-19. Pour ça, au cas savent, pour date, nous amassé 2,5 millions de dollars. Moi répéter 2,5 millions de dollars. Là où ils savent, ils sortent différents wet encore. Nous n'y pour dire l'autre pays, cette ici, avec ces places business, cette ici, moi n'y pour dire yo fait un effort. Pour ça, nous ouais ça, l'imoa, avec plus d'informations au cas laisse ça. Mais raison nous tenir, c'était pour faire assurer les vini pour ces gens qui devant combattre vermin COVID là, yo une protection yo besoin, yo un équipement comme mask, gloves, overall et puis différents bail. L'autre bail ou kay savent raison la hansa ka aller, les vini pour ces gens qui plus vulnérable parmi nous et kay aller pour procurer manger pour soin ces gens ça. Vini dimanche aussi, samedi, excusez-moi, Premier ministre a adressé une nation. Il y en a c'est plus gros développement qui sorti en adresse Premier ministre. Là, vini pour nation, c'est dat qui yokai permettre ces gens qui vendent marchandises et bien là ils pour faire puis matériaux kay besoin pour ranger caillou ranger bagay kon citerne glo et puis là premier ministre l'a touché à sous raison pour ça c'est parce que nous still en temps kawem nous en kawem toujours et des lay vini pour glo ça c'est un bagay qui bien important et qui pas qu'à oublier saison cyclone qui qu'a approché quoi pour raison ça premier ministre l'a dit et place business qui est fait mentionner SNS Voyager Flavor il dit c'est place ça kay trouver koyo ouvert parce que et bien ça moun kay besoin fait ces rénovations ça moun kay besoin matériaux pour faire bagay kayo et pour faire préparation pour saison qui va venir et puis pour bagay yo peut-être vle ranger pas de temps yo la kayo yon a ces bagay là qui est bien important qui premier ministre là touché à sou et puis qui là aussi poser ça si ou vle ouvert place business ou information j'ai sorti et date qui ou ni pour faire application et puis là application ça kay permis pour ouvert ou ni pour une permission quoi c'est pas tout monde n'importe monde qui en ka ouvert vaille yo vle savent ou ça fait application ça les vini pour ministre qui responsable pour business ici parmi l'autre bagaille développement ça fait ou qui a gagné marchandise Saint-Lucie yo cadeau ou ça fait application là et puis yo ban adresse aussi adresse ça c'est www.commerce.gov.lc raison pour ça c'est on pour une permission pour ouvrir opération business ou et pour sous qualifier en bas ces business là qui supposé vendre chez marchandises pour saison qui va venir pour même payer matériaux pour ranger bagay kon glow bagay la caillou changer c'est pas pour toute bagay et ou ni pour faire application ça plus développement là venir pour adresse premier ministre là à sous week-end là au cas savent messieurs dames CMOA il a adressé nation et puis annoncement te vie fait tout ça vendredi la tenir yon lot kadi 20 000 covet là qui a mené pour 15 ça qui bien bon si moi dit c'est date qui nous pour connait pièce la mort personne pour mort personne pour aller les pièces ces machines pour respirer yo pas ni ça quoi il dit si nous continuer manière nous aller bagay là ka bien mais yo ka encourager mon nèg yo ka toujours pays a poko ouvert yo ka encourager laver la main yo ka encourager tout avertissement qui doit là de bout 6 pieds hod yon à l'autre mettez massou en public toutes ces bagailles ça en place et la raison pour ça c'est changer nous ka commencer ouvert changer moun doit là toujours et puis là que Fiona style là il a commencé 7h au soir pour 5h bon matin trouver corps informé et ça va continuer commencer les 14 et bien va continuer les 14 aujourd'hui pour les 26 les plus informations available nous kaiba ou ça encore avertissement qu'a aller pour 10 moun si moun et puis citoyen Saint-Lucie pas coûter avertissement si moun pas vle tan la pa kay ni pièce choper pour vier fermer place là parce que yo kan péché 20 000 COVID-19 si même là on savent aussi gouvernement fait annoncement date qui place là Saint-Lucie ni pour vie ouvert pour raison ça nous kay honorable Bradley Felix en studio et puis nous qui kay ban nous pli information sur ça là ni pour faire manière pays a kay ouvert c'est place business là qui ça qui kay mettre en place pour nous payer ça qu'a fait merci Jesse.
Thank you very much, Carlton. Arrangements for the third term of the academic year. If you were sitting in earlier, you would have been in on the interview we had with the Permanent Secretary and the Chief Education Officer from the Ministry of Education, and they were just speaking on arrangements for the third term of the academic year, it being a learning from home term. The Minister, Honorable Dr. Gail Rigobert, also addressed the public on Easter Sunday regarding this. The proposed intervention for third term, starting with acknowledging that school is likely to remain closed during that period, contingent upon the advice of the Ministry of Health and Wellness with this whole COVID-19 situation.
The proposed intervention for the third term starts with acknowledging that school is likely to remain closed during that period, contingent upon the advice of the Ministry of Health and Wellness. Therefore, the third term will be a learning from home term. We can all agree that these are challenging times, and the way we deliver to or serve our students in the education sector of necessity will change. Already, I have seen remarkable demonstrations of creativity and innovation by our educators. The proposed interventions will require us to be even more flexible and nimble as we seek to ensure that our nation's children are not disadvantaged and that instruction is provided in a manner that ensures no child is left behind.
According to the Honourable Minister, interventions will be differentiated based on grade levels and forms. In the coming days, the Ministry will advise on the protocol for collection of activity sheets and textbooks, which would have remained at some schools in time for the commencement of the third term on 20th April.
It is being proposed then that the third term commence on 20th April 2020. The week beginning 13th April will afford administrators and teachers time to meet virtually to plan each school's operational intervention and to undergo training, upskilling, and retooling in the use of digital and media technologies. Though, admittedly, several training sessions have been conducted in the use of various platforms, it is necessary that more targeted sessions on the use of the platforms be convened.
As re-emphasized by education officials here this morning, Dr. Rigobert says no new syllabus concepts will be introduced this term, and rather the time will be spent consolidating topics which were introduced during the first and second terms of this academic year. Common entrance examinations are currently being revised to ensure that it is aligned with the areas of curriculum taught during grade 5 and the first term of grade 6. Parents of students at the secondary school level are to ensure that their child or ward creates a Gmail account, as the modality being suggested for secondary instruction is one that is heavily reliant on the use of Google Classrooms and Google Suites.
The ministry has fast-tracked the remaining phases of the computerization of schools program to better facilitate the administering of e-tests by addressing hardware, software, training of teachers, and training of invigilators. As it relates to CSEC and CAPE examinations, on reviewing the three options initially presented by CXC, the government of St. Lucia agreed to proceed with the third option, which proposed examinations in September to October 2020, marking of SBAs between September and November 2020, and 3, publication of results in December 2020.
That word there coming from the Honourable Minister Dr. Gail Rigobert, Minister for Education, giving us an update on the arrangements made for this third term of the academic year amid the COVID-19 on the situation. Just a press release coming from the same ministry, just to remind you of the examinations updates in terms of the minimum standard tests for grades 2 and 4. These examinations have been cancelled for the year 2020. The school-based assessments, SBAs, prepared by the students will be moderated during the first term of the new academic year 2020-2021 and reports forwarded to the schools. In terms of common entrance examinations, this examination will be administered after the Ministry of Health and Wellness deems it safe to do so. Sufficient time will be allowed after that pronouncement to afford students and teachers time to prepare academically and psychologically for the examination. The format of the 2020 exam will comprise solely the multiple choice components. In terms of the Caribbean Secondary Education Certificate, CSEC, and the Caribbean Advanced Proficiency Examination, CAPE, discussions are still ongoing with the Caribbean Examinations Council, and information will be provided when decisions are finalized. A follow-up statement will be made when timelines become more definite. Carlton?
Merci, Chay. Je sais qu'on bien savent, ministre qui est responsable pour l'éducation, adressé nation, parmi bagay, il adressé qui manière l'école qui est ouvert, travail là, il mettait en place pour ces mamans là parce que yo tout kon yon ministry trouvé ko yo affecté. Là il vini pour l'école là qui ouvert qu'on nous teni ou kay bien changer ou ka suivre nous bon matin information te bay date que l'école qui vie ouvert li 20. Ça c'est le 20 avril là où ils savent parmi bagaille qui kay prend en considération manière c'est maman là kay attendait l'école où ils savent ça qui ni computer kay fait pas computer ça qui bien important c'est date qui parents yo kamando pour assister ces maman là qui fait assurer yo ni yon adresse email et fait assurer yo travail yo et yo fait maman qui peut-être pas ni computer qui peut-être pas ça fait comme ça ministère a fait accommodation et ben a fait arrangement moi veut dire pour vous amasser information pour vous amasser matériaux hors l'école là c'est livre là aussi et puis papier ou quand ils savent les venir pour maman qui a fait qui en grade D et puis 4 examination minimum standard là yo ha cancellé c'est maman la pas kay fait ça mais c'est teacher kay prend en considération travail yo ha fait avec mener pour l'autre terme si common entrance qui était bien important encore si ou ça une information ou kay écouter ka suivre nous bon matin yon a c'est by official hot ministry jadi les vini pour affaires common entrance et ben là ministry a espérer direction CMOA pour ouais qui ça yo ka fait mais yo ka dou yo ka bay ces mamay là assez chance ni mamay et puis c'est teacher assez chance bay ces mamay là pour préparer teacher pour préparer document ba yo mais yon développement qui vient dedans ça c'est date qui PS là fait bien clair les venir pour examination yo ka fait multiple choice yo ka ni pour choisir réponse là plutôt pour yo ka ni moun ka avec tout en dedans yon chambre yo ka fait multiple choice là et puis yo ka fait électronique quoi ça c'est un développement là mais yo ni ka faut ça plus information kay bay les vini pour common entrance les vini pour CSEC et puis CAPE discussion ka aller toujours les vini pour ces examinations ça ben yo ka discuter et puis CXI parce que ou kay savent examination c'est examination ça ka prend cours en Kawai blanc taillement et c'est pas cette ici tout seul qui a fait examination ça. À sous l'autre bagaille ministre touché à ceux qui evle moun savent date qui yo pas ka quitter personne derrière yo pas vle quitter personne derrière quoi pour raison ça yon manière ben l'autre yo ka adresser situation tout le monde et ka fait accommodation pour ça. Jesse?
Thank you. Just a note there from the Sir Arthur Lewis Community College. SALCC will be providing Moodle training on Wednesday 15th, Friday 17th, and Monday 20th April. And that training can be accessed via the SALCC Facebook page. The Sir Arthur Lewis Community College will be providing Moodle training on Wednesday 15th, Friday 17th, and Monday 20th of April, and that training can be accessed via the Sir Arthur Lewis Facebook page. Coming up, we have an interview in studio of the Honorable Bradley Felix, the Minister for Commerce, Industry, Investment, Enterprise Development and Consumer Affairs. He will be speaking on the latest updates from the Prime Minister this weekend with regard to businesses that have been allowed to operate during this partial scale down in the country, as well as the phased reopening of the economy after the extended partial scale down. Plans are in the works for that, as well as the General Emergency Powers Act and where his ministry fits into it all. So we have that coming up in just a moment. A gentle reminder, the country is not open for business. Only essential services as per the government's list are allowed to open. We are on a scale down operation, so there shouldn't be a non-essential services being open. Only hardware and home service stores are allowed to open upon application and permission being granted by officials. Do stay tuned. We have more coming up, including the interview with the Honorable Bradley Felix. Do stay tuned for that and more.
Coronavirus? I am worried, Gassa. It's only old people dying from that.
Hold up. Being young does not mean being safe. Yes, it's true that the elderly are at higher risk, but anyone can get the virus. The effect is even worse if you have a chronic condition like hypertension, heart disease, lung disease, and diabetes, or weakness in your immune system. If you are living with these conditions, be extra careful. Wash your hands with soap and water. Use hand sanitizer with at least 60% alcohol when hand washing is not possible. Avoid touching your face. Take steps to boost your immunity through proper nutrition, exercise, rest, and take your medication as prescribed. Limit being around people who have flu symptoms, even close family members.
Our health is in our hands. Together, through simple actions, we can stop the spread of coronavirus. This message was brought to you by the Bureau of Health Education of the Ministry of Health and Wellness.
What's in the food you're eating? Do you really even know? All the chemicals and hormones used to accelerate their growth. All the artificial flavoring, sweeteners and colors too. We consume and we don't spare a thought for the damage that they'll do. No, think about the children. Think about the children. How will we save them? Chemicals and GMOs are not the solution. Use organic and join revolution.
Excessive agrochemical use, additives, and genetically modified foods are harmful to health and the environment. Join the good food revolution. Grow, buy, and consume organic. A message from Rise St. Lucia and the Ministry of Sustainable Development with funding from the GEF Small Grants Program, UNDP.
The good food revolution.
Cette lisi ka registre vermin corona ek I ka fait mouvement ek an chay vitesse tan chaque canef ka kouye pour vigilance publique la fait wolo parler en place publique kon bol en main base ti boutique changer distance sociale 6 pieds rodyon à l'autre I ka travail tan si ou senti ko pa cordial quarantine ko pas en contact et puis l'autre en cas où te toi pe exposé c'est un écouye free 11 ou ben n'importe clinique yo pou les pays a dimi à clé ça veut dire les supermarkets pharmacie et puis ATM yo accessible avant c'était souhait pays à clé en plein ça veut dire tout bagay fermé à 24 heures. Servi protocole comme sorti par bureau indication santé. Nous tout ensemble, ça sauver vermine corona. Si nous tout servi jidla à toutes les.
Together let us win this war. Said we shall be a soldier. Together we can beat this corona.
Where germs are widespread, comes a group of superhero germ busters, the germaphores.
We spend most of our time fighting germs, every day of the week. After I play, I wash my hands. Before I eat, I wash my hands. After I play with my puppy, I wash my hands. I cover my sneezes with my forearm or elbow when I am in public. And I cover my cough to avoid spreading dangerous germs. We are the germaphobes, germ-busting superheroes. You can be too. Always wash your hands and cover your sneeze and cough. Let's stop the spread of menacing germs.
We'll be back, germaphobes, with more powerful germs.
And we will be waiting to prevent you from spreading.
Hi, I'm Jim Joseph, President of the Beausejour Community Group. We believe St. Lucia can win the war against the coronavirus, and here's how. Every community in St. Lucia must mobilize, coordinate, monitor and support residents the way we would before, during and after a natural disaster. Identify volunteers in your community, assign them roles and deploy them. Ensure your elderly and vulnerable understand all protocols. Help relatives, shield them from unnecessary contact with others. Identify those recently unemployed and vulnerable neighbors living alone. Put systems in place to filter updates from official sources throughout your community. Promote the hotline number 311. If it takes a village to raise a child, then all of us can come together to defend the village against the coronavirus. Let's do it.
Together let us win this war. Said we shall be a soldier. Together we can beat this corona.
Okay. Welcome back to the broadcast. You are watching us on NTN Live. This is the COVID-19 response report for the morning. My name is Jessie Leonce. We've had quite a packed schedule for the morning. An interview this morning with the Ministry of Education officials, and now we have an interview with the Minister, the Honorable Minister Bradley Felix, Minister for Commerce, Industry, Investment, Enterprise Development and Consumer Affairs. Good morning, Honorable Minister.
Good morning.
Thank you very much for being here with us. I can imagine coming from so far away.
Yes, well, let me first apologize because I know I did promise I would have been here for 10.
That's okay.
Unfortunately, coming up on the West Coast, it was quite depressing and stressful, I must indicate, to recognize that people were not following the protocols that, and I'm very sure have been communicated well enough. And it just appeared to be business as usual. And to be honest, it was extremely stressful to have witnessed that. And at one point, I even stopped to speak to some people I knew, obviously with my mask in. And people just felt that it was a long weekend, and they just wanted to be out. And it was very, very concerning to me to have seen that. And if I could start by pleading to our people to be mindful that we are not out of the woods. The gradual reopening of the country does not mean that things are back to normal. We have to protect ourselves, we have to protect our loved ones, and we have to maintain the guidelines as established and advised by the relevant agencies, particularly the Ministry of Health. Because it could lead to more disruption down the road, and it is extremely important that we be so advised that it is not business as usual.
You can certainly undo a lot of the work that the Ministry of Health has already achieved.
Yes, definitely so.
The Prime Minister provided an update for us over the weekend, Easter Sunday, and he stated that we would continue with the partial scale down of operations. However, the hardware stores and some home supply stores would be allowed to open after having received permission from your ministry. Can you give us some information on how these businesses can apply? And we've been seeing a lot of businesses open today, and with what permission are they operating this morning?
Okay, thanks. So the Prime Minister did indicate that the hardware stores would have been reopened from today. The Ministry of Commerce did put out a PSA to indicate to manufacturers, hardware stores, convenience stores and home supply stores, that they would have to apply through the ministry, and they would get the necessary approval and guidelines. I must indicate that because the Prime Minister had indicated that the hardware stores would have been open, a lot of owners of hardware stores felt a bit confused, because they felt that the announcement had been made and yet still they now had to apply for permission. But I think the intention of our message got across, because by people calling and inquiring, we were able to tell them, yes, the hardware stores can open, however, we need to ensure that you follow certain guidelines. And while everybody is aware of the social distancing on the lines on the outside, the number of people they can engage on the inside, one of the things we have recognized is staff behave as normal. So staff in the back office continue to congregate as usual. The packers, the people serving, they continue to behave as they would normally behave in a normal environment. So we wanted to ensure that we brought the message to these hardware stores that, listen, your staff are also critical in the way they behave, the way they assemble, the way they congregate. And so we wanted to make sure that message got out there. So while we have since adjusted our PSA to take away the confusion as it relates to whether hardware stores have to apply or not, but we continue to send out the message to the hardware store owners that there is a certain protocol that must be followed, whether it's external customers or your internal customers. So that is in place now. With regards to the convenience stores, the home supplies owners, they do have to apply. We recognize that some of these stores sell a wide range of items, and we want to ensure that they restrict the activity in the store to what is considered to be essential items, which is your sanitary items, your cleaning supplies, health and wellness. We would try as much as possible. And we know that a lot of these stores do have various floors where different things are located. So if it's possible to completely lock off maybe top floors so people can only address the essential needs on one floor, we ensure that we provide that sort of guidance to them. So yes, the application is critical, because we want to ensure that while there is a phased reopening, people don't believe it's I know cooks would appreciate that, go low, people will just assemble, at will and go and purchase at will. So it is critical that people understand that the reason for this gradual and phased reopening is because we recognize a number of things, and I think the Prime Minister did indicate that in his address. One, we are in a drought season. WASCO and NEMO have indicated that based on the current water levels, we have to accept that we're in a drought season. And as a result of that, people should start to prepare their water catchment facilities with storage tanks, building the necessary structures to house these tanks. Plus, we have a pending hurricane season, and we felt that it's a good opportunity now with so many people at home that they can do their own necessary repairs to ensure that we are well prepared for that season. So that's why the hardware stores in particular were identified as one of the areas that is a necessity to continue business as we move along, hopefully to a full reopening.
Can you speak to us about the details and the extent of dialogue that your ministry has had with the private sector, the Chamber of Commerce, as it pertains to the adherence of protocols, among other measures, under this partial shutdown?
As a ministry, I think I can say so emphatically that we, the ministry, our community that comes under us, I think, are those that have been most significantly impacted by the crisis that we are currently faced with, and that is the business sector. Businesses have been significantly disrupted. Unfortunately, I believe there are some that will not recover from the current situation. There are those, I believe, that will recover and bounce back even better and stronger. What this has done is hopefully to create an awareness by all businesses that we need to have various systems, various business continuity plans in place, various guidelines enacted within the framework of their operations to ensure that when another such crisis, and I'm sure there will be others, comes up, that they are better prepared to deal with that. As a ministry, we have engaged all of our sector agencies, as you rightfully indicated, St. Lucia Small Business Association, the Chamber of Commerce, Manufacturers Association. We've all had various dialogues, and I must commend the contribution from a number of these sectors. One, for their invaluable contribution in terms of the response as it relates to how can government assist us and the wider community. For those who donated graciously in terms of food items so that we could have supported the vulnerable, for those who were able to open under immediate a request by government to facilitate various shopping activity. For those manufacturers also who took advantage of what they saw was a necessary item required by St. Lucians in terms of some of what was produced. We saw nutmeg, we saw St. Lucia distillers, we saw others producing health and sanitary items that could have been used in this crisis. So we have had contributions from the Chamber of Commerce and from a wide group of stakeholders as to how we can ensure that, while there is major disruption, but we prepare ourselves for whatever fallout this thing will bring upon us. So yes, there have been significant engagement. I want to thank and take this opportunity to thank the staff of the Ministry of Commerce, because while we have not been open physically to the public, but all the directors and in particular my PS have been working 24 hours. We have continued in terms of approving import licensing to the various businesses who have containers coming in. So business is not disrupted in a wide scale. So there have been a lot of stuff happening behind the scenes. I would also go further to indicate that we recognize that some unscrupulous people may want to take advantage of a crisis such as this to do some price gouging.
I was coming to that.
I would indicate that as a ministry, we should be submitting a document to Cabinet by this week to address price gouging. While we do have in place legislation to deal with items that come under price control, but there's a wider range of items that we would like to ensure that we capture in terms of, as I said, people want to take advantage of a situation. So that will be going to Cabinet this week. Cabinet meets almost every day, all kind of weird hours. And, we address these things because we recognize the urgency and the necessity. So yes, that is going to be brought to Cabinet so that in any future occurrences, we're on top of that situation. I think I should also make mention and remind the people who fall under the forced service sectors that we captured last year in terms of providing concessions to enhance their business. And I speak specifically to the IT sector, health and wellness, creative sector, and various sectors falling under the professional sector. What we recognize now is that we may have to broaden the assistance that we would give to capture more entities. It is really a catch-20 situation for government, because we're giving up significant revenue at a time when government mostly requires that kind of revenue. But we recognize that it has to be two hands working together. So we want to be mindful that our small, medium-type enterprises are the ones who make a nation grow, and we want to place a lot of emphasis on their own survival and their growth. And so that is why we continue to support them with these various incentives and concessions that we put in place.
Incentives and concessions. You mentioned price gouging legislation, drafting, the Prime Minister's Social Stabilization Plan. Can you tell us other roles that your ministry will be playing under that initiative?
Well, yes, the government spoke to the Prime Minister, spoke to the stabilization program. I'm sure a lot of people are waiting for the actual economic stimulus that will be coming out. Our ministry is playing a significant role in putting guidelines to guide the cabinet and the Prime Minister in terms of how we can assist. As we speak, in fact, just before I came up this morning, I was at conversation with my PS, and we are, as I said, engaging various stakeholders, and we are getting their input. So the Prime Minister will be addressing the nation very soon with that economic stimulus, and I am sure we will try to capture a wide range of possible in terms of the assistance that we can provide. All of that being said, it must be pointed out that government has not been making any revenue the past couple of weeks. There's nothing coming into the kitty, as you know, intimately expressed by some. There are going to be some very tough decisions that will have to be made, but at the same time, you know, we must recognize that the country needs to keep moving. You know, we must be able to see beyond that shadow that's over us and see to it that we can together grow the country.
Okay. Can you speak to us on the phased reopening of the country, plans that are underway for the phased reopening? How will that work out?
Well, a lot of what we do, we are guided by the Ministry of Health, the CMO and her team, because there are various assessments that are being done. There's a very hard working team in the background that meet every single day at 9 o'clock with regards to various developments as it relates to the spread. I think we are very happy that we have been able to a certain extent to contain the community spread. Hats go out to the team who have been doing the contact tracing. I think they've done an excellent job in terms of identifying people who have been in contact with people who have had actually contracted the corona, and we have been able to put them into facilities to monitor them, and some of them have turned out positive. So that has been you know, an excellent job by that team. So I commend the Ministry of Health, the CMO and her team for that. So they do their continuous meetings and assessment, and they guide us. So with regards to the hardware store opening, it was not based on the whims of the Prime Minister. It was based on advice that, listen, there are certain things that are required, okay, for various activity to continue. That engagement was done with the CMO. In fact, when we have our cabinet meetings, the CMO is always invited to give her input before we deliberate further. So a lot of what we do we will be guided by what we hear from the health team. So we have gone one step further with the hardware stores at our next engagement. Based on the CMO's advice, we may decide to take it one step further. But as I said when I opened this morning, I'm really concerned with what I have seen from a behavior with our people, and I'm really hoping that it does not translate to the news that we do not want, and that our figures increase rapidly. So I am keeping my fingers crossed, but I just want to remind all of us all of us, let us play our part. It is not business as usual. You know, as the Prime Minister said, the person next to you behave as if that person has contracted, you know, the COVID-19. Because if we behave that way, then we will take the necessary precautions. I am just hoping that our people are not thinking that what's happening in New York and Italy and Spain is too far away from us, you know, and that based on such the number of various postings coming on social media, we believe we have a certain hardcore resistance. You know, this is all false, and let us be real with what is facing us. I know, you know, the behavior, it's not just unique to St. Lucia. People are very uncomfortable, people are very frustrated, people are losing their minds, having been pent up in a house for so long. But let us look at it differently. Let us look at it, if we don't behave that way, that frustration, that being locked up could be for a prolonged period. Our policemen are tired. You know, they have been working 24 hours to address this thing. Our frontline workers are tired. The healthcare professionals, the people working at the port. You know, these people are putting themselves out there, you know, to protect us, to make sure business continues. Let us play our part. Let us not be reckless, okay, to make their work even harder. And let us not create an environment where, you know, we now have to be forced, in a sense, to behave a certain way. You know, we are a resilient nation, and I believe we are a smart nation. Let us behave that way.
Of the $2.5 million, we could have seen that the private sector really stepped up for the telethon. Can you speak to the significance of those gestures?
Yes, I mean, the initial target was 1 million, and I must say, you know, we were extremely elated with the turnout. There's a school of thought that maybe had there been an earlier sort of marketing of the telethon, we'd have been a lot better off in terms of the results. But what I'm aware of is that while the telethon has stopped, people have not stopped calling and making their contributions. So while we are at 2.5, I am sure that figure will continue. But it is just showing how, as a people, we can come together. Hats off to the business sector. They were really the champions in this. But we must not overlook the person who's also struggling, who gave that $20 and who gave that $100. That's significant. Some of these people recognize that, you know, it's small, it's what I can give, okay, but it will make a difference, you know, and we want to thank each and every one of us, near and far, who came out and who made that contribution. It will go a long way, and we continue to look for us to support each other, not just financially, but in other ways as well.
Okay. Can you tell us about you know, how the people in your constituency are faring with this partial shutdown, even the national shutdown last week? Have they been abiding? What is the impression that you're getting from them?
Well, I can tell you my phone has not stopped ringing as it relates to, can I get a pass to go there, or when will that place open, or, you know. A lot of people are concerned. In fact, a lot of people actually asking for me to actually come into the community, various communities as well, which I need to advise them it's a dangerous practice. I need to lead by example. So as much as possible, I try to engage people over the phone. You know, the community is a community that's very together. And life, as I said, has been disrupted. So it is not comfortable for people. A lot of people, you know, when I left home this morning, I just saw many people, guys that I know, actually just sitting on the stairs to their homes, you know, their hands under the chin, you know. People want to go out. People want to go back to the way of doing things. But I'm just pleading to the people that this too shall pass. It is for a time. But let us all play our part. You know, one of the challenges we have in the community is one where, because of the drought, the water situation in many communities, you know, have been disrupted, and so people going to the various water sources to try to get water. As the parliamentary rep, what I have been doing is I have been calling Wasco to make water available through various trucks. That has been happening well. The people have been indicated to me it has been coming. They would like it every day, but obviously there is, various restrictions in terms of how that can happen. But we are trying our best to try to make life as comfortable as possible for people. One of the things I know that's affecting a lot of people is the fact that they cannot go to church. People felt, particularly this weekend I just passed, it's a major community event, going to church Easter weekend, So, but I know a lot of people were engaged through social media and various means to celebrate and praise. But in all of our praising and giving thanks, let us just try to be very, very patient, because all of what's being asked of us is for our own good. It's not anything being forced upon us unnecessarily. It is a necessity that we behave a certain way. But if we continue to comply, we will soon get back to normal. And the faster we can get back to normal, it would be the better for all of us.
Thank you. We are whittling down to our final minutes. I just want to hand over to Carlton to engage the most capable Carlton Cyril to engage the minister in Creole.
Merci en chai Jesse. Moi dis bonjour honorable Bradley Felix. Nous savons dans temps qu'on combien de autres jeunes souvent et qu'on a chai assou à la maison. Merci pour venir en dedans. Ou kay savent honorable Bradley Felix li qui a une responsabilité là vini pour business commercial investment parmi l'autre bail excusez-moi parmi l'autre bagaille à faire marchandises et services en simplicité. Quoi si vous t'es coûté développement qui fait avec bon matin nous ba ou information ça premier ministre là adressé nation ensemble avec CMO avec la tenue développement neuf qui il parle dit ça qui est tombé en bas responsabilité ministre là bon moi commencer cadre ministre là vini pour annoncement premier ministre là date que nous ca une place qui ca vendre marchandises et puis matériaux moun ca brisé avec moi tani l'homme maintenant dit saison hurricane peut-être travail moun pli fait caillou dis-moi raison de ça qui ça qui était raison de pour permettre ces places business ça et qui place business nous ca parler dans un petit mot power.
OK, merci Cox. Yo ba me vle di Prime Minister pas juste lever un jour et qui dit nous ca ouvert c'est hardware store. Nous avons parlé souvent avec Jean, ministre santé, avec CMO, nous parlons avec CMO dit nous, comme cabinet, nous ça by considération pour ces hardware store ouvert, mais il y a pour ouvert en même façon ces supermarkets là, t'es qu'à opérer. So nous avons les débats, nous avons les yon. Nous on dit en crisis de l'eau. En chaque place pas qu'à joindre de l'eau et en chaque moun pané de l'eau la caillou et en chaque moun ka garder est-ce que qualité bail ça mais nous faire un bail pour try mettre de l'eau en dedans tank et bien un bail comme ça. So nous dit nous kay bail moun qualité l'occasion opportunity ça pour yo ça aller gain water tank gain ciment gain c'est bail ça pour yo mettre tank yo monter gain pipe fittings yo pour yo mettre tank yo monter en l'autre bail nous consider c'est saison cyclone qui vient et c'est en saison nous passons à prédicter qui ça qui a fait mais nous voulons tout le monde préparer et c'est un bon temps pour monde préparer puis on chaille monde la caillou la on chaille papa qui a fait various travail maçon oui mais il pas jamais un caillou même puis dès là on va venir en charpentier comme si c'est un gros charpentier gars la porte ici qui a try to ouais so actuellement yo tout le monde home yo ka ça joindre opportunité pour yo faire bail caillou même OK pour manger koyo pour saison hurricane là so c'est qualité chill ça qui aller en dedans en lancement
pour prendre décision ça
pour faire décision ouais.
OK et puis moi bien savent qu'on nous dit ouvert nous ca essayer et des situations combien dia les vini pour business quoi l'année place yo ka vend bagay essential bagay ou brisé l'année place qui ni matui yo mais nous savons yon d'autres bagay ka vend là aussi nous observer puis nous tenir annoncement pli bon matin nous bali application parler des applications et puis côté moun sa hen application ouais zonday et puis kachila aussi là vini pour application ça pour ces places business là parce que nous bien dit yo ça ouvert c'est business qui ka vend matériaux marchandises moun kay brisé mais nous savons manière bagay la technical pas dit temps nous même ka travail situation en chay l'autre bagay ka lever néant ça quand nous observer commission sortie et puis avertissement c'est moun pour faire application ça quand on parle tita ka sous ça.
OK so kok ça qui kay fait nous nion ça accueille un website le commune ça aller website là c'est www.commerce.govt.lc bon mais assez au dit ça en créole
oui
fini ouais so c'est gens yo ça aller là yo ka y application là et application kay ni yonde guidelines
kay vidéo
manière où ça joindre affaires pour ouvert ouais so là yo fait application l'année combien moun qui kay joindre li et ces moun là puis pour bon matin tout seul depuis 5 heures mais depuis hier soir moun te ha voyer application mais ça pour bon matin l'année combien qui nous a by permission
just ba moi dit yon se bagay la raison de ça kachila de aussi pour application avec manière moun ka surveiller pas internet pas sous computer c'est parce que encore distance là encore pour empêcher vermin si mais ou G quand si vous voyez pas computer il pli sauve moun ça oui surveille sans nous ni moun ka combler Casimon G vermin.
Ouais, comme il dit tous ces gens ministre nous ka travailler la kaino tout le monde ni phone tout le monde ni computer yo et business ka continuer so les applications faites c'est un bail qui a fait vite mais ou tu parler parole plus bonne avec mais just lady on the bail about li les nous bail permission pour ouvrir l'année bail nous ka dit c'est moun là ou ça fait et ou pas ça fait so si un moun ka vend bail pour kay et quand même là yo ni en place yo ka gain yo ka vend chapeau et ka had ou pas ça vend ça OK c'est bail qui bien nécessaire ou ça vend by ces moun qui kan entrer en dedans là OK puis ça nous voulait faire nous pas voulait moun just que tout bail vini normal so tout monde ka just rush en dedans place ka joindre tout ka gain tout qualité bail malgré mais que manière bail fait là on chay moun ka chile qui manière ka dépenser l'argent yo tout on chay moun ka garder même pas ça acheter bail médical acheter longtemps mais ni pour faire une bonne décision là dépenser l'argent moins so mais que ça même kay wanche koy so c'est pour ça nous mettez application là so laissez moun là puis nous pas vle personne quoi yo ça juste ouvert bon l'autre bail me vle dit et me oublié dit juste ça plus bonnet on chaisse moun là nous ka bail permission nous voulons yo savent environmental officer kay passer nous police là kay still passer faire un petit routine pour faire si yo ka fait bail la manière yo supposé faire et si ces moun là pas ka behave en manière yo kay fermer yo puis nous premier bail là nous pour kachile tout ça nous ka fait c'est santé moun et nous ka try malgré nous ka try faire bail ouvert en manière nous pour kachile nous voulons faire assurer santé nous still sauve so c'est comme ça nous aller
quoi si moi bien comprendre permission bail moun pour faire application qu'on dit bien simple et après ouvrir application dans ou kay ni JID qui kay ni régulation et ou ka dit c'est police là kay fait assurer yo passer manière yo ça et puis ou ni pour faire assurer suivre JID avertissement qui bail pas les autorités les venir parce que nous ka combattre vermin toujours parler de ça et puis moun ka hen permission à nous toucher un petit à sous moun qui vle rosser pour yo avec moun qui prend l'avantage là présent pour dire belle pour moi en ik vendre bay moi plus passer il vaut parler en titaka sur ça
bon parole si men ça a vini ministry commerce là kay voye en même mot au cabinet pour nous faire assurer nous ça chaîne ça en direction so moun qui ni kachil eh ben yo ka kachil et actuellement c'est un bel temps pour me hauser pour moi en différents bail yo nadi yo pas kachil puis la kay en penalty ou pas kay vle so nous ka voyer ça cabinet pour nous faire assurer moun pas prendre l'avantage en situation nous
quand nous gay ouais en situation côté cabinet qui prend décision pour punir moun qui casser ça ben qui attend mais mettez pour en la bagaille date qui yo pas supposé et ben mais plus haut pays vaut pas de temps situation nous en situation nous dedans là
d'accord
vitement aussi là vini nous tan premier ministre là dans annoncement il était dit troisième stage 5e mois il te dit c'est un plan pour vieux ouvert nation quoi parlant titak à sous ça là vini pour vieux ouvert nation avec plan qui ça kay vini qui kachil qui derrière qui ça kay ni pour fait
so comme dit plus bonheur prime minister pas just dit by ivle c'est ministry santé avec CMO nous ka nous conduit direction qui manière pour faire by marché so tac by kay vie ouvert ça est si by pas venir plus mauvais en place là so là yo dit nous OK manière yo Hawaii isam nous ni en la mer en les manière by ça ka spread peut-être nous ça ouvert plus toujours mais en tout ça nous ka fait nous ka mandé moun yo ni pour chen ko yo en disant manière yo pas ça just en yon a lot vai non nous ni pour point en responsable manière nous ka puis même manière nous tout vle vie normal si bay vie mauvais quand dit ces moun là everything fall down
oui c'est la vie à terre
so ni pour faire assurer nous behave comme nous en manière
Eh bien, monsieur, là on est, nous, temps, nous, mais quand on bien ça avec temps, dans ici, et puis nous, en studio, c'est ministre pour responsabilité et business, et vous savez, parmi l'autre bagaille, vous savez, un chat a tout fait quoi affecté, avec un annoncement, c'est, il y a des places, ça, tout fait quoi ouvert, expressement place qu'avant marchandises, expressement, yo en dedans, eh bien, intéressant dans c'est pour saison cyclone, nous, qui va venir, et puis, pour en considération, nous, en kawem toujours, quoi, pour ces raisons, ça, décision pour ouvrir ces places business. Mais, avertissement, jabay en exou ka vendre plus passer marchandise yo pas vlo ka aller vendre l'autre bagaille sou ka vendre homme là aussi nous savons pas supposé vendre had pas supposé vendre et puis ça qui bien important aussi travailler qui en dit dans place là pas supposé quoi qu'on place là ouvert toute bagaille avier en ordre non quoi commission bien clair c'est place business là ou ça ouvert ça c'est monde qui a produit bagaille ça c'est monde qui a vendre marchandise mais on y pour faire application là faire application ça ou trouver JD et puis avertissement encore à aller pour changer nous qu'à combattre vermine toujours dernière parole ministre
mais just voulais dire vite moi chaque monde ni concerne manger kay fini chaque monde quoi manière monde ka just aller en ces différents business là manger kay fini mais voulez buy out assurance là comme ministry nous c'est nous qui in charge ça y a créé basic food items so for in France sick ek diwi ka sorti en bas nous ek nous ni assez ça nous ni assez ça in fact les nous de ka bay moun manger ministry a te bay nimo 3 containers c'est bay ça mais just dit là ek nous ni en chay qui ka vini so la ni assez manger en place là so moun pa ni pour paix pour quoi manger quand il fini so mais just qu'on dit qu'a plaider et faut excès chaîne nous comme si moun là qui ou ka parler ni maladie OK si nous tout behave comme ça, nous kay faire assurer nous pas faire bail là aller plus loin passer hier. So me vle merci, oui merci tout le monde, mais qu'on nation, mais ça nous c'est une nation qui fort. Mais nous ni pour behave en manière pour nous pas faire bail la vie plus mauvais. Merci Cox.
Eh bien, merci en chay honorable Bradley et Felix là ni pour faire exaffaire et business en cette Lucie. Moi gavier passe au bail Jesse Léonce qu'on nous ici à headquarters Vermin COVID-19 GIS.
Thank you, Carlton. Just a reminder, the country is not open for business. Only essential services as per the government's list are allowed to open. We are still on a scale down status, scale down operations, so there shouldn't be non-essential services open. Only hardware and home service stores are allowed to open upon application, as mentioned by the minister, and permission from the government of St. Lucia. Thank you once again, Honorable Bradley Felix, Minister for Commerce, Industry, Investment, Enterprise Development and Consumer Affairs. Thank you very much for your time.
Thank you very much, Jesse, and I must commend you all on doing a wonderful job. The nation is listening, the command center is very active, and when this is all over, I'm sure, we can say job well done. Yeah, so thank you very much. Very grateful.
Thank you very much. We have to close. This has been another COVID-19 response report live on NTN from the GIS studios. This is all the time we have for now. Before I close, I want to thank everyone involved in the production process of this program. We want to thank Carlton Cyril on set. We want to thank the producers, everyone in the master control room, producers, cameramen. Thank you very much. Also want to make special mention. We had the sign language interpreter, Mrs. Vanessa here this morning for the interview with the Ministry of Education officials. We want to thank her very much for sitting in and helping us with that. My name is Jessie Leonce. Do have an enjoyable day. This is all the time we have for now. Goodbye.